Let's get nasty on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We got you covered for the first hour of the show today. Jamie Rivers is out in Vegas. He had just wrapped up with the Blues morning skate, so he won't be joining us until 3 o'clock our time. But at 3 o'clock, we'll get into some Blues and some other storylines. Brad Thompson is also going to be in studio with us from 4 to 6, so that's the lineup today in the Fast Lane. So Marsh and I for the first hour, Jamie in for a couple of hours starting at 3 o'clock, Brad Thompson in from 4 to 6. We'll certainly hit on the Blues. Tough one over the weekend for them. We'll get into some of the winter meeting conversation, but Marsh, we are going to start off with the biggest story in sports, which is that Florida State was left out of the college football playoff. It surprised me. I thought, and we had talked about it, and boy, I was wrong on a lot of things. The person that texted in, "Go Huskies," everybody's disrespecting Washington. I bow down to you. I'll eat crow on that. I thought Oregon started to become a wagon in the second half of the season. Washington, despite the final score may have been close, but Washington owned them. Washington dominated that game. I thought more so than the first matchup. So Washington deserved to be in it. That's no question. Michigan got a bye week against Iowa, which was nice. Nice for Iowa to just kind of show up and at least take the field. But that was a bye game. Michigan gets in. The conversation, of course, really started with the SEC championship game between Georgia and Bama. I said this is not going to be much of a controversy. Georgia's the better team. It's going to be tight, but Georgia's going to win in the end. They did not. I didn't think Georgia played well at all. Not Carson Beck. Carson Beck was one of the best quarterbacks in the nation in the second half of the regular season. He wasn't good enough on Saturday. That's just the bottom line. He went alone. That Georgia offense, a little banged up, but Washington was banged up too, so you can't use that as an excuse. They were a little banged up. It showed, and Alabama took it from them. Good for Bama. We messed around. I think after the loss to Texas, I said, Marsh, everybody's falling asleep here on Bama. Watch them win it all, and they might.
I think they will.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. So, long way of saying, did Florida State get screwed? Yeah, they got screwed.
Yeah, they did.
They were undefeated. They're a Power 5 team. Not Group of 5. They're a Power 5 conference champion that went undefeated. I will say this, though, Marsh. When you get in these situations and you're having a conversation and everybody's thinking it, but only one guy says it or one gal says it, and you kind of look, whoa. Wow, that was wrong. But you were thinking it too?
Yeah.
That's what the committee did. Because everybody knows that Florida State, who played with their third-string quarterback on Saturday against a bad Louisville team that I thought was going to win, another thing I was wrong about over the weekend, Florida State with a backup, because they probably are going to get Tate Rodemaker back for their playoff game. They're going to play Georgia now. But at least they'd have the backup if they made the college football playoff. Do you think that Florida State would have been favored against Texas, Michigan, or Washington?
No, absolutely not.
No. Do you think that Florida State would pull off an upset against any of those teams?
I don't believe so.
No. So the committee said it. They said what we're thinking. But now we're all up in arms. And Florida State has a major gripe. Danny Cannell absolutely nailed it. Former Florida State quarterback that is now covering college football for CBS. He nailed it when he said the college football playoff is not about resumes. It is a beauty contest. It is you get elected into the college football playoff. It is not about resume. And he's right. Because the only reason why Florida State was left out is because Jordan Travis got injured. That's it. That's the only reason.
I honestly understand where the committee came from, how they made their decision. I think the college football playoff is going to be awesome. I think all four teams are great. You have Bama, who a lot of people were sleeping on all year, like we just touched on. They're the 4 seed. They'll take on Michigan,
who doesn't even want to play them.
Who doesn't even want to play them. They're going to get smoked. I think Bama's going to smoke them. And then you have Texas, who hasn't been in the college football playoff since its inception. And we really haven't thought of Texas as a national powerhouse since Colt McCoy was there.
Right.
And then you have Washington, who continues to defy the odds, and they just keep winning, even when we think they're going to lose. I think Texas might be the favorite in that game. I think Washington's going to beat them.
So Texas is a 4.5-point favorite. Michigan is a 1.5-point favorite over Bama. So the spreads are tight.
Yes.
That's tight. I mean, anything under 6 is pretty tight.
But here's the thing. Florida State went undefeated, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous that one player decides the fate of every single player on that team and the coaching staff and all of the fans. I think it's BS. In any other sport, if a player goes down and that team is in a playoff spot, it doesn't matter. They're still in the playoff, and they continue to play, and if they get smoked, they get smoked.
Yeah.
But they went undefeated. What are you trying to tell just athletes in general, that if you go undefeated, you don't deserve to be in, at least in this situation, the college football playoff, since you are a Power 5 team?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like the college football playoff how it is. I like it how it is, but I feel very bad for Florida State players, coaches, fans, everybody that is rooting for the Seminoles. I feel super bad for them because I do think they got screwed.
Oh, from a moral standpoint, you think about the kids that said, okay, hey, boys, we go undefeated, we win a conference title, they're not going to leave us out. And they did, just because Jordan Travis got hurt. From that standpoint, that is who I feel the worst for. The young men who poured everything that they had into each and every week during the college football season to get to this point. And they every check mark.
Yeah.
You know, LSU, neutral fields. Jaden Daniels probably going to win a Heisman.
Yeah.
For LSU this year. They beat him. They beat LSU. Every mile marker that was put in front of them, including winning the last 2 games with their backup and their third stringer respectively, they accomplished that. The thing that you said, though, there's a moral aspect to it, and then why don't we get into the entertainment aspect of it, where I say to you, Marsh, okay, replace Alabama with Florida State and Michigan. How interested are you in that matchup?
I'm not as much interested, but I think with all the hoopla going on right now, I would be interested to see if...
Bama, Michigan, what's your first reaction?
Yeah, Bama wins.
But you're excited for the game.
I'm excited for it, for
Florida
sure.
State, Michigan...
It's still 2 big programs, so it's hard to say I wouldn't be interested in it. I think I'm less interested than, obviously, the Bama. I think anybody would say that, but I think it's tough. The one thing that I don't necessarily love about how they went about everything, saying that these are the best 4 teams. Okay, so what about the best 6 teams? Why is Georgia number 6 and Florida State is number 5? Georgia, in my opinion, if we're taking the best teams, Georgia's better than Michigan and Georgia's better than Washington. Hell, Georgia's probably better than Texas, even though Texas beat Alabama and Alabama beat Georgia.
So this is where I think there's a outside the box conversation. I think we can all agree that Florida State got hosed. If we're looking at the committee, like I said before, the committee just they said what we're all thinking. We'd rather watch Bama than Florida State.
1,000,000%.
Florida State in this, when it comes to the backup quarterback, right? No offense to Tate Rodemaker, but if you watch that Louisville game, that was nasty. If you watch the Florida State-Florida game, I mean, Florida State couldn't move the ball against a bad Florida defense. Mizzou fans, you saw that. You saw Florida. That was a tight game. Came down to the end, but. How good was Florida's defense in the final 57 seconds against Mizzou? That's not a good defense. Florida State couldn't move the ball with Tate Rodemaker. So, again, the committee said what we were all thinking. Florida State should definitely be in. I don't know if I want to watch that, though. Like, let's just be real about it. They got screwed. Both things can be true. They got screwed. But I'd rather see these 4 teams play as opposed to Florida State being in it. But where the conversation comes in, if we want to be real about the regular season or real about resumes, Michigan should not be in over Florida State.
No. Michigan
did not have the same resume that Florida State did.
They didn't even look good against Iowa either.
No,
they didn't. I know they won by 20-plus points, right? Which isn't saying anything because Iowa's offense is awful.
Iowa couldn't score against mediocre defenses. Michigan, one thing you could say about Michigan has an outstanding defense. They weren't. You and I had some fun with the fade or follow, thinking that Iowa would squeeze one in at the end. They weren't even close. I don't know how many times they passed midfield in that game. That was pathetic. Michigan got a free win. They got free wins all season long. They had to beat Penn State and Ohio State. That's it.
The best thing Iowa did was miss a punt miss a number 4. I've seen this all over the internet. He's running down on special teams on the punt, misses the tackle, and then from like the 5-yard line catches up and tackles a Michigan player at the other 5-yard line. That was the best highlight I've seen from Iowa all season.
It's a semi-Don Beebe type performance.
Yes.
Do you remember Don Beebe in the Super Bowl against the Cowboys? Do you remember that, sir? Leon Lett?
Names sound familiar, but obviously, no, I do not remember.
Leon Lett was a defensive tackle for the Cowboys. They're playing the Bills in the Super Bowl. Leon Lett scooped up a fumble. He's running in.
I know you're talking about.
Put the ball down low because he's going to score, and BB chases him down and gets it.
Yes.
Anyways, Michigan, if you're talking about resumes, I don't know if Michigan has one of the 4 best resumes in college football. But the problem that the committee faced was as soon as Bama won. Texas was going to beat Oklahoma State. It was just a matter of by how many. Mm-hmm. They blew them out. It was decided that Texas won that game. Texas kind of needed Alabama to win because then you couldn't put anybody else in over them. They had the head-to-head. Yeah. We've seen it. I don't feel bad for Ohio State. You had your chance against Michigan. You had your opportunity to beat Michigan and then get basically a glorified blood donor game against Iowa. You didn't. And Texas went to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama. So you weren't going to leave Texas out here. As soon as Alabama won, the conversation was, is the committee really going to leave the SEC out of it? And the SEC wasn't as great this year as it was in years past. But I told you a month ago, right?
Yeah.
A month ago, I said, if Alabama wins, they're not going to be left out.
For sure. Now, if Georgia wins, does Florida State make it or does Texas make it?
If Georgia wins, does Florida State get in over Texas? Yeah, probably.
And Texas only got in because they beat the SEC champions.
I think so. Yeah. When you look at how the committee was going to view this, Michigan and Washington in no controversy there. But if Alabama doesn't win, then I think you have a situation where, Georgia's in and probably Florida State. And then you get Georgia-Florida State. Because Georgia would have been ranked 1, most likely, had they beaten Alabama.
I mean, Alabama, yes, they beat Georgia, but it's not like they were crushing teams down the stretch either.
No. Oh, well, think about this. You know what's really crazy? We are one blown assignment from an Auburn cornerback from not having to worry about this at all. Mm-mm. At all. That's how close it is on a 4th and whatever. We are one Auburn defensive back blowing his assignment in that situation from Bama having 2 losses and this not being a discussion. It's crazy. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. More football throughout the first hour of the show. We will get into your Blues. We will get into some Cardinals and some winter meeting talks. But I want to get into what we saw. I think what we saw last night was perhaps more interesting than Eagles and 49ers, although we'll certainly dive into that. The Chiefs, how big of a problem is this Kansas City team? Because I keep expecting the Chiefs to kind of turn it on at some point. And they did it last week, and I was on the bandwagon of, okay, the Chiefs are back. But when you watch this team, I mean, it's nothing close to what we've seen in previous years. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. So another wild day in the NFL yesterday, and it was capped off by a game last night, Packers and Chiefs. I know a lot of listeners, fair amount of you, are Kansas City fans. And I would be interested to hear from Chiefs fans today on what they're thinking with this team. You lose 27-19 to the Packers. If I'm being honest, Marsh, at no point did I think Kansas City was going to lose that game, despite Green Bay taking care of business in the first half. That first half was well played by Green Bay. Mm-hmm. They marched right into the red zone, right out of the gates. How many times do we see an underdog like that settle for a field goal? But they didn't. Capped off the drive with a touchdown. Went into the red zone in the second quarter. Capped it off with the touchdown. Kansas City's first two trips to the red zone settled for field goals. Green Bay dominated that game. But I thought in the second half we were going to see Kansas City tighten up defensively, and then Patrick Mahomes do Patrick Mahomes things. Instead, despite the Chiefs making a 21-19 game early in the fourth quarter, Green Bay did what it had to do to win. Jordan Love looks much better now. Mm-hmm. He's been more accurate. His accuracy isn't where it needs to be ultimately, but he's been more accurate. Credit Matt LaFleur for doing a lot of the things that we're seeing other coordinators do, which is get the ball in these playmakers' hands. Watson's a playmaker. Reed's got some playmaking ability. Dobbs with a hell of a catch last night. He's got some playmaking ability. I'm not putting him in the same category as Tyreek Hill, understand that, but they've got some skill position players. And LaFleur's doing a really nice job of scheming things up for Jordan Love, and he's making the throws. He's confident now. He's more accurate. He's more consistent. Jordan Love is kind of turning into a decent quarterback. But I still think the conversation is with the Chiefs. Are we to the point where you watch Kansas City and they almost have to play they have to play their A game. And if they don't play their A game, any contender is going to be in games with them. Do you think that's fair?
I think that's definitely fair. I think if you look at this team this year, their defense has been the best aspect of their team. Last night, it seemed like they lost every single starter that was on the field
Yeah, right.
It seemed like every single person was injured. So I definitely saw that and was like, okay, now that this is a thing, their defense is the best aspect of their team this year. I wonder if the Packers are going to stick it to them, and they did. Mm. And I thought they did a great job at controlling that game in terms of time of possession. I think they only had maybe 2 or 3 drives each in that first half.
Yeah.
The time of possession that the Packers had, they were very surgical, very methodical when they drove downfield. And ultimately, that kept Pat Mahomes off the field.
Right.
And Patrick Mahomes does Patrick Mahomes things. They end up scoring, they get some points, but it turned out late in that game, he threw a costly interception, yep. And that was the difference in the game.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Again, if I'm being honest about what I thought was going to transpire, even though my eyes are telling me Green Bay's in control, I thought it's only a matter of time. Fourth quarter, Mahomes is going to come back. Chiefs are going to win this thing. It's going to be close, but Kansas City's going to win this thing. Mm-hmm. Are we to the point now where we have to alter our thinking with this Chiefs team? I will, moving forward, because I think that while every team needs to play their A game, of course, Kansas City used to be able to get away with not necessarily playing its top game, and Mahomes would bail them out. I don't know if you're good enough this year to play a B game against a Green Bay team in prime time at their stadium when Jordan Love is playing some confident football right now. Mm-hmm. They have to play their A game on both sides of the ball. I don't think it's just a matter of wait until the fourth. Mahomes will win it for us. I mean, there's they almost lost to Zach Wilson and the Jets. They could have easily blown that 21-0 lead to Miami out in Germany because Miami scored 14 unanswered in the second half. The Chiefs didn't score. You did lose to the Eagles. Why? Because Kelsey put it on the ground. Mahomes threw a pick in the end zone. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who I'll get to in a second, too. Yeah. I thought it was interesting last night. He puts one on the turf. They're not playing their A game, and I think the losses they're starting to pile up here too. 3 in their last 5 games.
I think there could be another camp out there that are probably Chiefs fans that would say they were a MVS penalty away from being right there in that game and tying it.
That was a mugging. That was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous, but so was the late hit out of bounds, quote unquote, out of bounds that gave the Chiefs 15 yards.
Very true.
So either way you want to look at it, maybe it's a makeup call. You could call it a makeup call, whatever you want to call it. But the Chiefs were right there. If they get that call, they're right there to score and tie the game, and maybe they end up winning. But I think to your point, I don't think it shouldn't have even been that close.
You're a Super Bowl champion. Your defense has played incredible all season long. Last night, notwithstanding, but this is like you have Mahomes, you have Reed, you have Kelsey, you have Rashee Rice has turned into a really nice player for the Chiefs. He had another nice game last night. Isaiah Pacheco, even though he threw the punch and got kicked out last night, still that was a really nice game for him until that moment. So you have the elements, and yet you're still in games where we're talking about they should have thrown a flag for you. Did you see, by the way, Chris Jones on the sidelines last night? So after the penalty, I thought this was interesting. I'm really
telling
interested.
Everybody to get off the field.
Yeah, he was telling. I think he was saying get back or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was in that moment, and I could be crazy. All we saw was Chris Jones. We did not see the rest of the sidelines. But I'd be interested to hear from Kansas City fans if they were thinking this too. It was right after MVS didn't get the pass interference call, and he ran off the field. And I actually think Chris Jones was saying to him to get to the sidelines because it looked like he was kind of sauntering back to the sidelines. Maybe he needed a breath. It was a long pass.
He did. He took 2 plays off.
He took 2 plays off. But if you notice Chris Jones, he was still looking down the sidelines. I wonder if he was looking at MVS because there's a couple of times where he almost mouthed like, okay, I see you. I wonder if there's a lack of competitiveness from MVS and some of his teammates are starting to notice. I mean, that's a big spot. You took 2 plays off. You're the tallest, fastest receiver on that team. They're going to need you for kind of a jump ball, and he took the 2 plays off until the final one. I don't know, just throwing out. I thought Chris Jones was ticked off at MVS, and then Chris Jones is a team leader.
I didn't even think about that. I thought he was telling everybody to get off the field because
they were him to get off the field.
That, hey, dude, that could have been in. I don't know. If
you need a break, get off the field, right?
Maybe. And then they ended up using one of the plays that he was not on the field for is when Mahomes just threw it immediately out of bounds. Right. Which I thought maybe they could have got some more yards there. I know there was like 5 seconds left on the clock, but yeah, I mean, if you're the Chiefs, you don't want that game to come down to a missed call.
Right.
Like, you should be better than that. And the Packers have been playing good football as of late. And I believe they're now 16-0 in December with Matt LaFleur as their head coach.
No kidding.
Yeah, they were 15-0 heading into last night's game. 15-0 in December.
In December. So they lost to the Lions last year in January then?
Yeah, so he's 5, and that's all including playoffs. So
that's
5-5 in January.
Wow. Credit the Packers. They took it. They won that game decidedly, even though there was a couple of moments for the Chiefs to get back in it. I thought Green Bay, they outplayed them, and that's 2 playoff teams that Green Bay has beaten the last 2 weeks. They go into Detroit, beat them, and then they beat Kansas City. They're the 7th seed right now. They're 6-6. Your Vikings, are 6-6. They're the 6th seed. This is interesting. This is getting real tight. Seattle bounced out. And the Rams are hanging in there at 6-6 too.
I mean, you mentioned the Chiefs and some of the things that we should be concerned about. I think you can make that case for almost every single NFL team right now. Some of the top NFL teams that we would consider to be the best in the league. I think you can make a case that each team, I mean, look at the Eagles. They took on the 49ers. I'm sure we'll get into that as well. But, I mean, they got stomped.
Yeah.
And we thought they were the best team in the NFC.
We'll definitely dive into that one a little bit later on. I do want to hit on some of the rumors that are going on right now in winter meetings. There was an interesting one involving a pitcher that the Cardinals might be interested in that really they should have been interested in a year ago. So we'll get into some winter meeting talks next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues lost over the weekend to the Arizona Coyotes by a final score of 4-1. They will be back in action tonight, taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Pregame starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. The college football playoff is final. Michigan, number 1. Washington, number 2. Texas, number 3, and Alabama at number 4. We talked earlier about Florida State missing the college football playoff. If you missed that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. You can find our full show there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Anthony Stalter. Jamie Rivers will be with us starting at 3 o'clock. He'll be with us from 3 to 5. So we'll get into some Blues coverage with Jamie, who's covering the team, obviously, for Bally Sports Midwest out in Vegas. Brad Thompson will be joining us from 4 to 6. So we'll talk some baseball with him as well. But I did want to get into some of the rumors that have been circulating. It's kind of a fun time of year, even if nothing happens results-wise. It is a fun time of year when it comes to Major League Baseball and the rumor mill. One that caught our attention was John Denton suggesting that the Cardinals could use Steven Matz as a trade chip to acquire Tyler Glasnow from the Rays, Dylan Cease from the White Sox, or Pablo Lopez of the Twins. Now, of course, Steven Matz alone wouldn't get that done, but perhaps these teams are looking at cost-cutting measures, and they view Steven Matz as a reclamation project and $11 million. That's not too bad for a starting pitcher over the next couple of years. But I don't see how the Twins would deal Pablo Lopez, Marsh.
No,
they signed him to a 4-year deal. They gave up the batting champ for him a year ago. I don't think they make that move and turn around and trade him after he was great last year for the Twins. Mm-hmm. I don't see how they turn around and trade him. I think he's fairly cost effective as it is. I mean, to trade a guy that was hitting nearly 400 for you for 1 year of Pablo Lopez just doesn't make any sense.
Now, I would love Pablo Lopez. Don't get me wrong, but there is, like you said, there's no way that they would get rid of him because they've already lost Sonny Gray, and they had one of the best rotations in baseball last season, and then you just get rid of 2 of those starters? Right. I just don't see that. And
replace him with Steven Matz? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I don't see that happening. And, of course, like I said, I would love Pablo Lopez because, like I just said, the Twins had one of the best rotations in baseball last season, and then you add 2 of those guys to the Cardinals starting rotation in what we would call a bad division, much like the AL Central last year. I would love that.
It would certainly be a lot better than what you had a year ago, but that's not the mile marker that you should be looking to overcome. Mm-hmm. Pablo Lopez would be an upgrade over pretty much everything you have outside of maybe Sonny Gray, right? They would at least be on the same level. So neither you and I believe that makes much sense. John Denton also noted that President John Mozeliak said that he views Mason Wynn as the team's starting shortstop. When I read that, I'm like, well, yeah, of course. But if you think about it, the reason why this comes up is that they could alleviate some of the issues they have in the outfield, the crowded outfield, by moving Tommy Edman or keeping him at his natural shortstop position. But Mo indicating that he prefers Tommy Edman in center field with Lars Nootbaar and Jordan Walker flanking him offers the thought process that, yeah, Wynn at 21 is going to be your starting shortstop next year. I think he should be. And I think he should bat 9th. I've said this before, and I will maintain this, right? I will be consistent with this thought. Marsh, I think Mason Wynn should concentrate on defense. He should hit 9th. Whatever you get out of him as he's learning Major League Baseball, MLB pitching, great. Don't move him. If he has a hot streak for 2 weeks, let's not talk about moving him in the leadoff spot. Mm-hmm. Keep him 9th. Let him get adjusted. Let him ride the roller coaster a little bit for at least a half a season as he's learning to hit in the big leagues at 21 years old, and let him play great defense. And that's it.
And I don't know about you, but I love having speed at the bottom of my order, especially with what the Cardinals have at the top of their order. Because if you get a guy on, let's just say he does get on base. I mean, there's a speed threat right there. He can steal bases, and he can get himself into scoring position for some of your top guys at the top of the lineup, especially if they go with Goldie batting second. You know, sometimes they end up doing that. Sometimes they have him at 3, or they have someone at 3 or whatnot. But I think this offense is going to look pretty good this year. I'm excited to see what we can get. I think still the question, though, right now is the starting rotation and what we're going to see out of them.
Well, you still need to make some moves, that's for sure. But that was interesting. The other thing that Katie Wu had at The Athletic was that the Cardinals are shopping, according to industry sources for Katie Wu at The Athletic, the Cardinals are shopping Tyler O'Neill, which we knew, and Dylan Carlson. Neither guy has much trade value right now, but it would make sense that you would put Tyler O'Neill on the trade market, and if your outfield is going to consist of Jordan Walker, Tommy Edman, and Lars Nootbaar, it does make sense to perhaps entice a team that liked Dylan Carlson before, maybe one that is called and asked upon him. Even if his value is low, maybe you still get something for him because he's 24 years old. But if teams are going to lowball you, then Dylan Carlson has way more value as a fourth outfielder for you than it would be for trading him someplace and getting some mid-level prospect. I don't think you're in a position to worry about supplementing what you have in the minors now by trading Dylan Carlson.
Do you think you'll get the most out of Carlson, or is he a player that needs to play every single day?
I think he needs to play every single day.
How is he going to do that, though?
He's not going to usurp, unless there's an injury, Tommy Edman, Jordan Walker, or Lars Nootbaar. That's just, sorry. You got to be available. And it's not like, and I've been a Dylan Carlson defender. BK and I have kind of gone back and forth on this because BK has been pretty steadfast in Dylan Carlson can't play, move on. Mm-hmm. And I've been more in the camp of, how do you know he's not playing? But he hasn't been healthy. And when they traded Harrison Bader to the Yankees for Jordan Montgomery 2 years ago, they opened up a spot for Dylan Carlson. They said, here, you're our center fielder moving forward. Guy couldn't stay healthy.
So what's the difference between Dylan Carlson and Tyler O'Neill?
From an injury standpoint?
From a being available standpoint?
Nothing right now. From an injury standpoint, nothing. Obviously, Tyler O'Neill's, Dylan Carlson is just getting into arbitration. Mm-hmm. He's younger. Tyler O'Neill, this is it for him. Final year for his deal. So that's the obvious in terms of different. But for availability, nothing.
Yeah, I think it really does come down to the contract situation. I think it's as simple as that, because both of these players have shown you over the past couple of years that they can't stay healthy, and what you think they can do, because they showed it for like one season, maybe a season and a half, you keep relying on that to potentially show back up, right? And it just hasn't. And at some point you do have to move on, and I think right now the Cardinals need pitching, whether that's the starting rotation or the bullpen, more than they need Dylan Carlson as their fourth outfielder.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to see them make a move. Like if it takes Dylan Carlson to land you Dylan Cease or Tyler Glasnow, okay, so be it, right? But if it's Dylan Carlson for a prospect, that doesn't do anything for me. I'd rather have Carlson as a 4. For sure. Then give him up. That's where I'm at on that.
Well, yeah, I think, like what I just said, you need pitching over Dylan Carlson as your fourth outfielder. Sure. I would take Dylan Carlson as the fourth outfielder for a guy, over a guy that won't even make an impact on this year's club. Yeah. Like, you need someone that is going to make an impact on this year's ball club.
No doubt. By the way, Jack Flaherty, according to MLB.com's Jeff Jones, the Pirates have expressed interest in Jack Flaherty. So there's former Cardinal. Potentially another former Cardinal got dealt over the weekend. Marco Gonzalez is now a Brave. Atlanta acquired Jared Kelenic from Seattle in a deal that sent some players over to Seattle. I like that move for Atlanta to get Jared Kelenic. Kelenic has been a kind of a frustrating player, but he's got gobs of talents. And you get him in Atlanta in that lineup. He can hit maybe 7th for you. I think that's really interesting. Randy Arozarena, the Mariners apparently engaged the Rays on both Randy Arozarena and Isaac Paredes earlier this offseason, according to Ken Rosenthal. Said the Mariners didn't have room in their budget to acquire hitters when talks first took place, but they should now after shedding $19 million in 2024 dollars with that Jared Kelenic deal. So Seattle, one thing to keep in mind is, one, Seattle traded Jared Kelenic, but they also freed up $19 million. So if the Mariners are looking for hitters, maybe that – I don't think the Mariners are going to give you anything of substance for their top three guys. Mm-hmm. But maybe there's still a deal to be made with Seattle if they are willing to give up some of their pitchers. And then one final note, Joe Kelly, who I've been hoping that the Cardinals would kick the tires on. Joe Kelly, though, off the market, one-year deal. He signs with the Dodgers. It was worth $8 million. I think it was Jamie and I kind of speculating that he'd maybe get $4.5, $5 million. They'd shatter that in some respects for a one-year deal. $8 million, according to the Athletics' Jim Bowden. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We will talk to Jamie at the top of the hour. We'll get into some Blues hockey with him. Rough one over the weekend. We'll break down some of those topics with Jamie. But let's go back into the college football playoffs for a second. You've got the playoff matchup set. We talked about Florida State earlier. I know we'll probably get into that at some point again, but I want to get your instant reaction to those matchups, Marsh. Plus, let's talk about Mizzou. They draw Ohio State. Eli Drakowitz with the ultimate, scam, so to speak, joke, talking about, the fact that he was getting a phone call from Michigan's former Secret Service guy, basically. And he had to hang up, and he's looking forward to playing Ohio State. One, that was funny from Drink. I think this is a monumental opportunity for Mizzou, despite Ohio State not having some of their top guys. That's next on 101 ESPN. So congratulations to Mizzou. They did get, they earned, I should say, Marsh, they earned a college bowl game that will be on New Year's Day. They're going to face the Ohio State University at 7 o'clock. It's actually December 29th, I should say. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, Mizzou and Ohio State at 7 o'clock. I think it winds up being a really nice showcase for Mizzou. They take on Ohio State, a program that obviously is going to draw a lot of interest. Kyle McCord, the quarterback for Ohio State, has entered the transfer portal, so he will not play. And I highly doubt that Marvin Harrison Jr. will play for Ohio State. He's going to be probably somewhere in the top 5, maybe the 3rd overall pick, behind a couple of quarterbacks next April. I don't care. It's a golden opportunity for Mizzou to play in a spot where people are gonna watch that game, are gonna have a heavy interest in it against a quality opponent. And if and when, because I do expect them to win, when they win in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, all it's going to say is a W next to Ohio State. That's it. Nobody's going to remember that Kyle McCord didn't play. Nobody's going to remember that Marvin Harrison Jr. likely didn't play. Mizzou, with an excellent season, put together a resume that was worthy enough to play in a top bowl game, and that's all that matters. It's another step for Eli Drinkwitz, among many this season, to put together another thing where you can go to recruits and say, look what we accomplished.
I mean, if you would have told at least everyone in this room that Mizzou would be in a New Year's Six bowl game at the start of September, I would have laughed right in your face. But now they have that opportunity to beat Ohio State, who was one of the top teams all season long. Now, it might be a good thing that Kyle McCord's not playing for the Buckeyes because he is not good.
I thought about that, too. Kyle McCord is the reason why I picked Michigan to not only win but cover against Ohio State 2 weeks ago, because I didn't think Kyle McCord was going to go into Ann Arbor. So I was a little conflicted by that as well. But Marsh, if Kyle McCord won that job, the backup ain't good either.
That's very fair.
You know?
That's so fair.
Like he beat whoever the backup is for us.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me, that was kind of a competition going into the year, and Kyle McCord got named the starter either the week of or a couple days before the Indiana game, which I think Ohio State played Indiana out of the gates. Either way, I think you make a very good point, though. I don't think it really matters who they play as long as they didn't play Liberty, because I don't know if that's that's kind of like a lose-lose if you think about it. Like if you beat Liberty, okay, you beat Liberty. If you lose to Liberty, oh my goodness, you lost to Liberty. Right.
So you get to play a Big Ten school, one of the most prominent schools in college football, in college sports in general. I think it's a huge win for Mizzou.
Yeah, Oregon's going to play Liberty. Oregon's in the Fiesta Bowl.
Bo Nix said he's playing.
They deserve it. Oregon deserves that, because you're right. It's a lose-lose situation. If you crush Liberty, you're supposed to crush Liberty. If you lose to Liberty, then it's a huge deal. Oregon, I thought, was the most disappointing team over the weekend. I was pretty disappointed in Georgia, don't get me wrong. But Bama beating Georgia, we've seen that before. It's Nick Saban. It's all that. Oregon did a lot of talking leading up to that Washington game. And Washington was banged up, and Michael Penix Jr. was not playing as well as Bo Nix was going in, and Washington controlled it. I don't care that the final score was, said a field goal difference. You watch that game, Washington was clearly the better team, and I'm glad they won because they are the better team in the Pac-12. They earned it. Oregon, from my standpoint, though, was incredibly disappointed in the way they played. I didn't think Bo Nix played well. Certainly not well enough. They couldn't move the ball.
No.
They scored 31. I don't know how they scored 31. I have to go back and watch. I don't know how they scored 31 with the offense looking as choppy as it did. And Washington was doing whatever they wanted to in the first quarter. I mean, it ran the ball right down their throats. I was surprised by. Clearly, I was wrong on that one.
I wonder the way that you described Oregon playing that game. Imagine if they won, they beat Washington. Are they in with that performance, or does Florida State get in?
I don't know. Probably Oregon. Probably Oregon gets in. I think the only way poor Florida State, I think the only way Florida State gets in is if Georgia beats Alabama. Then it's Georgia, Michigan, the winner of the Pac-12 championship in Florida State.
Yeah.
And Texas is left out. Because you'd have two unbeatens. Mm-hmm. This is the first time that they've left, they've had, I don't know, two unbeaten teams out of whatever.
Yeah.
Since, I think, 2004. All right, instant reaction before we get to Jamie. Instant reaction. You saw the matchups.
Yes.
So forget the Florida State conversation. You saw the matchups. What was your instant reaction?
Great matchups.
From a standpoint of who's going to win. Because I think you and I are on the same page with one of them.
So you want me to pick who's going to win?
What was your instant? You saw Alabama, Michigan. For example, my instant reaction was, give me Bama.
Oh,
Michigan doesn't want this.
1,000,000%.
Michigan,
oh my gosh, you see the
doesn't
video?
want it.
They were complaining, essentially, that Florida State didn't make it. That's a loser mentality.
It was like an audible groan, and then somebody started clapping, like, hey, guys, we should probably start clapping now.
Yeah.
You should want Bama. They clearly wanted Florida State. And now you got a couple of weeks of Nick Saban preparing for you. Good luck.
Oh, they're going to lose.
I know they're a small dog, but give me Bama on that one.
Absolutely.
And Texas-Washington's going to be fun. That's going to be high scoring.
I think so, too.
Washington is going to be able to move. Texas's front is outstanding, but Washington can throw. And Texas is susceptible in the secondary. So I think that's going to be, at the total 63.5, I could see both teams getting in the 30s easily.
I think Washington wins that game.
You do?
Well, I kind of mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but it just seems like every week we expect Washington to lose. They're going to lose. They're going to lose to Oregon. And they keep winning. They just keep winning, and I think they're going to beat Texas. And I think, unfortunately, that national championship game isn't going to go the way that we want it to go, which I think we do want to see Alabama-Texas rematch of not only this year, but the first national championship game that Nick Saban won with Alabama when Colt McCoy was the quarterback. I think Greg McElroy was the quarterback, too.
Yeah.
That was when they played at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, McCoy got hurt in the first quarter.
He got hurt.
And the former Rams quarterback went in.
Garrett Gilbert.
Gilbert, thank you.
Yeah. That is a matchup that I would love to see, and I don't think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get Alabama and Washington.
I'm honestly good with whatever. I am. Alabama-Texas rematch, I'm good with. Alabama-Washington, fantastic. That's probably the one I'd root for the most, maybe, because we saw Alabama-Texas. Michigan-Texas, fine. Michigan-Washington, fine. There's not a bad matchup, in my opinion.
I'm biased because I don't really like Michigan. I just don't see them winning the national championship this year. I think all three of those other teams can beat them.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed all year by Michigan.
If you're a believer in karma, I wonder how much karma is coming from Michigan here too.
Oh yeah.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Not that any of these other college teams are completely innocent, but yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. Yes, karma is coming really because I'm sure Alabama and Washington, and Texas, all these other teams have done crap too. All right, we're gonna get to Jamie. Jamie's gonna join us from the road. He's out in Vegas for tonight's Blues and Golden Knights matchup. We'll get into what happened over the weekend for the Blues and some other storylines here with Jamie Rivers next on 101 ESPN. 6:03, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and our guy Jamie Rivers is hanging out from his hotel in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada. What's up, Jamie?
I'm paying the taxes today. That's what I'll say.
Oh,
I'm paying the taxes today.
Did somebody enjoy some nightlife last night / this morning?
Yeah, somebody overserved me, Anthony. Apparently,
it happens.
There
was
a
it you
involved at the end of the night? And yeah.
Did the reindeer make it home safely, or do we not know where that reindeer is?
You know what, Anthony? I didn't like the reindeer's attitude.
Okay. All right.
And let's just put it that way.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
I don't remember any of it, but apparently it happened.
You know what? You'll see the pictures later.
No, I hope not.
Jamie, we don't want proof. Jamie, before we get into tonight's game, I think a lot of people want to know the hell happened in Arizona.
Why are we going to talk about the past, Anthony? You know what? The future is so bright. Let's talk about the future.
You know, because I think sometimes the past leads us to what might happen in the future.
Yeah.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, it was a rough one. Rough one in Arizona. I shouldn't say it was a rough one. It was a rough period in Arizona. And that's literally what beat the Blues. Was the first period they came out, did not have a great period. The first shift was great. I thought that the Braden Shen line got going, got in, and got some action in the offensive zone. And then, of course, Coyotes come down and score right after that. And then they buried the needle for the rest of the first period. It was tough for the Blues to get anything going. I thought that they regrouped pretty good for the second period and third period. They were competitive, but it was too little too late. You couldn't do it. You didn't have enough gas in the tank to score goals, and then Ingram played a heck of a game for the Coyotes, and this is the problem. You can't do that as a team. You can't get behind like that. The Blues so far this season have not been a team that gets down by a goal or two and comes back and wins. There's only one game. I think there's only one game this year where they were down. I'm actually positive they were down to the Coyotes the last time they were in Arizona and came back and won. That's the only game this year that they've won by having come back from trailing. So if you're the Blues, you can't put yourself in a hole like that. That's the bottom line. And the players know it. The coaching staff knows it. And, you got to try and do the best you can to regroup. And now, what's your reward? Well, you get to play Vegas 2 times in a row. You get to play them here in Las Vegas, and then you come back and play them in St. Louis. That's your reward for that.
So, Jamie, going back to the Coyotes here, so as we know, they've played the Coyotes several times now. They lost 6-2 at Enterprise Center. Then they went out to Arizona, and they won 6-5. Actually, they won at home 2-1. Boy, they played Arizona a lot. 2-1. Then they went out to Arizona 6-5. Then they lost 4-1. So they gave up 6 goals in one of those games, 5 goals in another, and 4 goals. The only time that they kept the Coyotes under 4 goals was that 2-1 win. Does Arizona do something that gives the Blues trouble, or is it just their skill set? Is it their speed that you've talked about? What about Arizona specifically has given the Blues trouble defensively?
Yeah, I think they play with a lot of speed. They're fast, and they move the puck up the ice extremely well. If you turn the puck over, it can hurt you, and that's what happened in the first period. They turned the puck over, and the Blues really couldn't even break out of their own end. It was tough to watch. Even is like, man, like just can't get out of their own end. That's because Arizona is forechecking very, very, very hard as a team. They're quick. They're on pucks. They're hungry. So I don't think it's like one specific thing. It's not like one specific player. Although Keller and Schmaltz have been Blues killers, for the last couple of seasons now. But it's just as a team they play very much like the Blues. Mm-hmm. Like when the Blues are successful, Arizona plays that way. They get in on the forecheck, they play with speed, they move the puck well, they play physical, all of those things. So what happened the other night, for me anyways, was the Blues got outplayed playing their own style of hockey in the first period. And then honestly, that was it, Anthony. Like after the first period, the Blues turned it on, ended up out-shooting the Coyotes, out-chancing the Coyotes, all of the things that you want to have happen in a victory, but you didn't get the victory because you were down 3 goals after the first period.
Right.
And you you couldn't paddle your way back to the top of the water because you were drowning at that point.
So tonight, like you mentioned, your reward is to take on the Golden Knights in their house and then turn around and have to play them again. No surprise here. The Golden Knights, who are 16, they've already got 16 wins on the year, 9-2-1 at home this year. They're heavily favored. You went out to morning skate today out in Vegas. Was there anything noteworthy that you could share?
The only thing that I really was drawn to is how big Vegas is. Like, they have one player overall, the entire team, that is under 6 feet tall. And their defense core is 6'2" and bigger.
Is that all?
Like, it's crazy how big this freaking team is.
It's insane.
They got 6'6", 6'4", 6'3", 6'2", like, and then, they're like 210, I think, or 215 is their average weight on that team. Like, it's a big friggin' team. So, this goes back to last season, how they won the Stanley Cup was the fact that they defended the middle of the ice so well because they're so big, and nothing has changed. So this is a daunting task for the Blues tonight. It really is. You're playing one of the best teams in the league right now, and you're playing a team that has so much size and physicality in their lineup that you're going to really have to dig deep to score some goals tonight. And maybe it's exactly what the doctor ordered. I don't know. Because the last time I felt like this, we were going into Colorado to play, and I was like, woof.
Right.
Like, this team is good. And then the Blues are up 3-0 after one. Mm-hmm. So who knows? It's kind of been that way for the Blues this season. It's kind of like this up and down roller coaster that you're on. It is inconsistent, which is not good, especially if you're a coaching staff. You don't want your team to be inconsistent. But it is going to be a daunting task tonight. You're playing the Stanley Cup champions who have not missed a beat since winning the championship last spring.
So Binnington is the projected starter tonight. Here's your lines: Buchnevich, Thomas and Neighbors, Hayes, Shen, Kyrou, Saad, Sundqvist, Kapanen, Torpchenko, Alexandrov, Blais. Your defensive pairings: Leddy, Parayko, Krug, Falk, Scandella, Perunovic. Anything stand out there, Jamie, before we move forward?
Well, no, just, going with Perunovic, back-to-back games. I think that the coaching staff here wants to continue to see him develop and evolve as a player. Mm-hmm. And, because you had Tucker in there, and Bortuzzo hasn't played very much at all this season. But I think I don't like it for Bortz, but I understand what's going on here. I've been there.
Right.
You're the older guy on the D-corps that is a 6'7" defenseman. And you have two younger guys that have to develop. They have to play. They have to get ice time in order to see what you've got here. Tyler Tucker is very similar stylistically to a Bortuzzo, so that's always difficult to handle as a player because you're looking at a guy going, oh, wow, there's my replacement type thing.
Right.
Perunovic, nothing like Bortuzzo, just from size and a type of play standard. But it is tough. It's tough for Robert Bortuzzo right now. He goes to the rink every day. He's a consummate professional. He works hard. Today he's getting extra skating in and all that stuff that really sucks. I can tell you, it's terrible. The assistant coach comes over and they don't even tell you anymore that you're not playing. You just know, and they just grab, they just start the drill knowing that you'll know to come down and skate.
Yeah.
It's a mental grind for guys like that. So we'll see. But no, that's the only thing that kind of jumped out is, man, he hasn't played in a while. But the flip side of it, I totally understand why.
Yeah, this was part of
it. Played pretty well in Arizona, and you got to see what you have, man.
Yeah, this was part of it, Jamie. We knew that. With the number of defensemen that they had under contract, we knew that there was going to be some of these nights for certain veterans. So Bortuzzo's going through it now, and it's going to be kind of a thing to oversee for the Blues and the coaching staff moving forward. Tonight, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock puck drops for Vegas and the Blues. Jamie will be on the Bally Sports Midwest coverage from Vegas. All right, Jamie, we had the 49ers and Eagles last night. We've seen we saw the 49ers wax the Cowboys. Yesterday, they waxed the Eagles. Who would be the bigger threat at this point? Is there a threat to the Niners right now in the NFC? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Dirt Cheap, your one-stop shop for all things fun. That's right. Dirt Cheap is awesome. They have all your beer selections, your wines, and whatever spirits you're into, they've got you covered. I know for myself, the bourbon selection is fantastic, and the name Dirt Cheap is all about the price, not the product. I can tell you that right now. They have the high-end stuff. They've got the Elijah Craig, the Angels Envy, Blantons. I mean, you name it, they've got you covered. They also have a raffle that has started now. Since December 1st, there's a raffle that's going on, and you got to get in-store, sign up, all that stuff. But you won't be sorry, because when you win the raffle, you end up paying retail price, not the marked up version that you go online and see, oh man, I'm paying way too much for this. No, you don't. With Dirt Cheap, you pay the normal price and you get that great bottle of Blanton's available right now. So please stop by any Dirt Cheap location, tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. And remember, have fun, but be careful out there. Selling your home is a big deal. And right now, holiday time, you're probably wondering, man, should I put my house on the market? I don't know if it's the greatest time. I'm not sure what I should do. Stop that. Call the best in the business. That's Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And Gloria Liu knows exactly how the market's trending. She's going to make sure that you get your house on the market for the time period and the right price. And what she has is buyers for you. Most agents don't have buyers. Gloria does. She's got thousands of ready buyers in her database, and these buyers create a higher demand and more money for you at the end of all of it. And the one option that Gloria has that I absolutely love is the guaranteed sales. I mean, who wouldn't love guaranteed sales? Guaranteed sales is where Gloria sits down with the home seller and figure out the sale price of your home, and then she'll sell your home for that price, or she buys it herself and she guarantees that in handwriting. So please give Gloria Liu a call today at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree on the sales price and possession date.
You know, if you're going to go on a radio show after losing the NFC title game and said that you would have won by, 3 scores or whatever Deebo Samuel said, you better be able to back that up the next time you face that team. And boy, did Deebo Samuel do so last night against the Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field. 49ers won in an absolute rout. We all had the 49ers, right? I know I did. Marsh, I think you did. Jamie, you did, right?
Oh, I definitely did. Yes. Hey, how did we do, by the way?
We lost. We lost the Rizzuto show this week. Yep.
I don't like your answer.
Yeah, I don't like it either. And I believe Marsh, you're guaranteed to get shot.
That sucks. Sorry, Marshy.
Yeah, it's all right.
I just looked at it.
If only you had one more.
If you only had one more. Do you know what Marshy did? Jamie?
What?
You want to tell him?
I failed to put my Thursday night football pick in, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter.
It always matters, Andrew.
Well,
called
we got smoked
being
this
dedicated.
week.
We did?
Yeah. It wasn't close.
How the hell did that happen?
Guys had some rough weeks. I could go over the scores for you. Riz led their team with 10. King Scott had 9. Moon had 8. Rafe had 8. Learn had 8. CD had 9. I had 9. Jamie, you had 8. BT was 7. And Marsh was 6. So we
6.
had a rough week. So Marsh will be shot 3 times now?
Yes.
Okay, so Marsh is up for 3. Hey, 1 week. We don't want to make it a habit, but
my picks are already in for this upcoming week.
There you go. Good.
They're already in.
Good.
Attaboy, Marshy.
I mean, come on. So the 49ers. Jamie, you and I had the 49ers in the Super Bowl this year. So none of this is necessarily a surprise. And I do think that we have to keep in mind. Let me phrase this. Let's do this. Bigger threat to the 49ers right now in the NFC, Jamie. Cowboys or Eagles?
I still think it's the Eagles.
So do I.
don't believe the Cowboys one bit. I mean, honestly, look at their wins. Their wins have come against a lot of teams that aren't great. So I don't have faith in the Cowboys. I don't have faith in Dak Prescott. I think that the Eagles, although I felt like the record, not the team, I felt like the record was a little bit of smoke and mirrors this year. The team itself is a really good team. And I'm not willing to say, oh, well, this is a foregone conclusion that the 49ers are going to make the Super Bowl because of the Eagles, because I think they have some of the talent that, could be there.
Yeah, look, I think we do have to keep in mind that the Eagles, and this is why at least I picked the 49ers going into the weekend. I didn't think it was going to be an absolute blowout, but I did think the 49ers would win by, maybe a touchdown. It's because the Eagles were worn out. They're worn out from last week. They played an extra quarter because they played Buffalo in overtime. They probably should have lost to Kansas City.
I don't like it.
They should have lost to Kansas City. Well, I'm saying all this is to say, when these two teams, if they do face again in the NFC Championship game, injuries notwithstanding, I think we're going to get a better game. But I don't know if we're going to get a better game between the 49ers and Cowboys if that winds up being the matchup. Because those two teams met on a Sunday night in San Francisco earlier in the year, and the 49ers blew them out. Could you say that was a different Cowboys team? Maybe, but I think the Cowboys are kind of who they are. I think they're a really good team, but they're not great. I think they're flying under the radar to some degree, but Jamie, you're absolutely right. You have to take into account that Dallas has piled up wins against nobody this year. Dallas is Michigan. Like, Michigan's a good Michigan's a good team.
What?
Michigan's a really good team. I don't know.
Why do you hate John Harbaugh?
When they face
Or Jim.
Harbaugh. Yeah, Jim. I don't face John.
Yeah.
I don't hate John. He's the Ravens guy.
What's your problem? Did you guys talk about this already, by the way?
Yeah, we did. We could get into your thoughts if you want.
Yeah.
All right, we'll save
like
those. Save those. Save those real quick. Save those.
Don't tell me what to do, Anthony.
Jamie, save those. All right? I think I can tell you what to do today because I think you're still hammered.
It's quite possible.
I know that whatever I say to you, you may not remember in the morning.
We call that bonus land.
Yeah, bonus land.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's something, all right.
Yeah. But the Cowboys like Michigan. I know Michigan's good. I know the Cowboys are good. I don't know how good based on the opponents that they've played this year. They haven't been tested. When the Cowboys got tested, they got the brakes beat off of them by the 49ers. So I still think that the Eagles are the bigger threat. But the Eagles got some issues. Defensively, they got some big issues. The secondary, as we know, can be had. They can't get off the field on third downs. They don't generate interceptions. I really like the front, their front. If they take away the run, I think they're okay. But they have trailed now at halftime, I believe, in 5 consecutive games. This is not the same Eagles team, just like we're not seeing the same Chiefs team as a year ago.
Wow. Yeah.
You know? They've got both teams got some clear warts that they have to overcome. And I do think the 49ers are the best team in the league.
What's your thoughts on the Chiefs? Because watching that yesterday was, wow, what a debacle. What the hell's going on there offensively for that team?
We're to the point now, Jamie, that if they don't play their A game, I don't think that they're a guarantee in the fourth quarter that Patrick Mahomes saves them. That's kind of my overall take on Kansas City. They were good enough before where it's like, just keep it close. Patrick do his thing in the fourth. I don't know that that's the case anymore. Kelsey is still, excellent, but I don't think he's the same. I think he's still banged up. I don't think he's the same since, somebody tried to take all his money. And she was there last night. She was there.
I know.
So now they've got it.
Factor.
So now they got an L when she's there. I think that's a bad omen.
She might never go back.
She may never go back.
Like, I can't believe it. She's like, I didn't think this team could lose.
Right. Especially when I'm here.
Spoiled.
She's been spoiled.
Well,
we'll see. We'll see if the relationship can.
Falcons fan.
Desmond Ritter's looking better and better to her. She saw the way they went into New York and hung 15 points on that team, or 13, whatever they scored. I think it was only 13. I think I added 2 points for them.
Are you sure she's not? She should be in the Justin Herbert. They only put 6 up against the Pats.
What a debacle the Patriots are. What a debacle. I mean, zero.
They only needed 6 points.
0.0 points yesterday at home against the Chargers.
Who would win in a game, Iowa or New England?
I don't know, Marsh. I don't know. It's a great point, but I'm taking the under.
And what is the under? Well, what is the over-under set at?
12 and a half. 12 and a half.
7.5.
Look at, think of this. The Cowboy, I'm sorry, the Patriots. The Patriots and the Steelers are playing on Thursday night this week. I've seen it, so I won't guess along with you guys. What do you think the over-under is for the offensive challenged Steelers going against the offensively challenged Patriots? What do you guys think the total is? It's already been bet down, by the way.
Okay. 25.5.
All right, 25.5 for Jamie.
I'm going to say 34.5.
30.5. 30.5. It opened at 32.5. It's already dropped to 30.5. I mean, that is remarkable.
People saw 32 and they loaded up.
They loaded up on the under. Yeah, it's brutal.
Oh, God.
Anyways. All right. Jamie, you want to... I was going to do some narrative or reality next. Then I want to get into some of your thoughts on Florida State and the matchups for the college football playoff. Narrative or reality next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Elevate your performance with Pure Performance, your one-stop shop for all aftermarket modifications. Not only do they have all of your accessories, but they're known for their top-notch work that they do. It's amazing what they can do to your vehicle, whether it is sunshades, soft tops, trailer doors, off-road gear, bumpers, light bars, running boards. I mean, you name it, Pure Performance has you covered when it comes to your accessories. If you have a Jeep or a Bronco, man, they have some great stuff for that. Saw a Jeep not too long ago that they had just completely redone, and it was awesome. It was really awesome. And so is their showroom, by the way. The showroom is 25,000 square feet, and it is located in St. Peter's, right off of Highway 70. You just walk in and ask for Shelby and tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in, and she'll take care of you. She'll find out what kind of vehicle you have and what accessories you're interested in and make sure that you get all set, and then the technicians take over from there, and that's where they work their magic, do an incredible job. You will love it. You will love everything about Pure Performance. So please get by there in person, but if you can't, at least get there online and visit them at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com. Do you have a vision for your kitchen or your bathroom that you'd like to upgrade? Either or? Well, maybe you don't. Maybe you need some help. That's fine. Go to E&B Granite. They are the best in the business. They're located at 6135 Manchester Avenue. When you walk in, tell the salesperson that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They're going to help you, and they're going to walk you through all of it. It's super easy. It's fun. And they have great countertops available there, whether it's cabinets, countertops, again, for your kitchen or your bathroom. Just tell them what you're looking to do. Maybe you don't know what you're trying to do. And if you don't, that's fine. The salesperson is going to help you. They're the experts, and they're going to take you in back and show you all the countertops in the storage area. They've got granite, they've got quartz, they've got marble and soapstone. E&B Granite gets into your home. They measure everything. Then they take out all the old stuff, whatever it is that you're looking to remodel or upgrade. And then when they make their installation, they do an unbelievable job. It looks fantastic. I love the kitchen, the countertop, the back. And I strongly recommend E&B Granite. So please get by the store. You'll love it. Or give them a call at 314-645-9300. That's 314-645-9300. Or you can visit them at enbgranite.com.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues lost to the Arizona Coyotes over the weekend to final score 4-1. They'll be back in action tonight, taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Pregame starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. The college football playoff is set. Michigan is number 1, Washington number 2, Texas number 3, and Alabama at number 4. We have narrative or reality coming up next, so if you want to send us a text to the Air Comfort Service text line, you can at 314-399-9646. Narrative or reality coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
To you live from the car.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers from Las Vegas. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with some narrative or reality options.
All right, gentlemen, narrative or reality. Florida State makes it to the college football playoff. Their starting quarterback, Jordan Travis, does not get fully injured, and he is doubtful to, not doubtful, but what's the word I'm looking for?
So if he didn't get hurt and everything played out the same, would Florida State have made it?
No. So he gets hurt, but he could potentially play in the college football playoff. So it's up for debate at that point.
I think that's probably a reality. So everything's checking out that he's going to come back for the college football playoff.
He could play, but
yeah,
he could not play.
He's a question mark. I think that's a reality. I think the reason why they were left the reason why they were left out is because he's out. That's the only reason why Florida State was left out of the college football playoff. That's it. I mean, you're undefeated. You're a Power 5 team, conference champion. You're out because Jordan Travis is out. That's the reality. But I think if he was even questionable to play in the college football playoff, then yeah, I think Florida State would be in, and the committee would just kind of take it on the chin when it comes to Alabama and say, look, the resume was much better for Florida State.
Oh, no.
We lose Jamie.
I think we did.
All right. We'll let Jamie reset. And then, Marsh, go ahead and do the next one.
All right. Narrative or reality? Well, we'll save Jamie for this one.
Okay.
We'll go to another one from the 618. Narrative or reality? Georgia is a better one-loss team than Texas and should have still been in the college football playoff despite losing to Alabama.
I agree with half of that statement. I agree with that. I agree with the statement that Georgia is a better team than Texas. Yeah, I think the Georgia and Texas, if they were meeting on neutral ground, Georgia would win that game. The problem is that Texas did beat Alabama. So what's the reasoning behind leaving Texas out and having Alabama in? If you are going with the top 4 teams, then I think Jamie's back. If you are going with the top 4 teams, Georgia probably should be in there. But you do have to take some of what you saw in the regular season into account. Now, if you're Florida State, you're like, I guess not. We shouldn't even played. You wouldn't be wrong. But I don't think that Georgia should be in after they lost to Bama. I just don't. It was the worst case scenario, Jamie. Bama beat Georgia, and Bama had a loss to Texas earlier in the season. It's the worst case scenario for the committee.
You can talk yourself into anything when it comes to the top 6 teams right now. I mean, really, you look at it, you go, okay, Georgia lost, but they lost to Bama. And now Bama lost to Texas, but that was earlier in the season. Texas didn't get the Bama version that we just saw yesterday. They got the discount version at the start of the season. And then Bama beats Georgia, so Bama should be in. But Texas beat Bama, so they should be. But wait a minute, Georgia's only got 1 loss in 2 freaking years. Mm-hmm. So you can sit there and talk yourself into a frenzy, because I did it yesterday, trust me.
Yeah.
And talking to enough people here, especially here in Las Vegas, where things were going on and we're watching games, and I'm at the Circa Resort, and there's like a million games on TV, and you're watching everything happen, and it's like, it was nuts. And so I watched people almost get into a fist fight talking about who should be in the top 4 spots in college football. So it's difficult. It's difficult. It really is. Like Florida State, how pissed off are you if you're like the linebacker, starting linebacker on that team?
Yeah.
You've dreamed of a national championship. You've dreamed of an undefeated season, and you got your undefeated season, man.
Definitely.
But you don't have a quarterback, so sorry, you're out.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
I get it. I get it, though. Like, I get it. I know why they're not in there, but it really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's the toughest part. You have to feel for those kids. Hey, go undefeated, win your conference, and then you're probably in. Okay. Oh, wait, no, Jordan Travis is hurt, so nope, you're going to be left out.
I saw a tweet. It was saying that imagine if the NFL told the Eagles that they couldn't be in the playoffs once they lost Carson Wentz, who was having an MVP season. They brought in Nick Foles.
Yeah.
They ended up winning the Super Bowl.
Wow.
That they did. Yep.
That's a great point right there.
But the NFL doesn't have just 4 teams make the playoffs. So.
Well, what about Ohio State and Cardale Jones?
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Anthony, why are you not talking to the committee?
Seriously.
I would have said, this is what I would have said to the committee. You ready? This is exactly what I would have said to the committee. How could you?
I can't wait for this.
You made the right decision. What are you doing leaving Florida State out? The regular season not matter. Thank you for giving us the better matchups. This is ridiculous. You got to get Florida State in there. Thank you for having Alabama in there. It's a better matchup. This is right. You're disgusting. Disgusting. Nice job. Way to go. That's how I talk to the committee. Jamie, I led up the show today saying this. Look, the committee said what we're all thinking. They said it. They said, we don't want Florida State in there. To lose to Michigan. Bama in there. Bama and Michigan are a better matchup, okay? So, there. And we're all like, oh, how could you? We were all thinking it.
By the way, how pissed off is Michigan today?
I thought that was the other repulsive thing that happened in college football this weekend. When Michigan's players are sitting there and they reveal Alabama, and a lot of them go, oh, no. And then they're like, oh, no, yeah, bring them on. No. Your first reaction was,
No.
please, God, don't be Bama.
How about they release that video anyways on social media?
Yep.
If I'm the AD or whoever it is that has to sign off on this, like I'd be like, nah,
we're not releasing that
let's do a different
video.
one.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, let's get hyped.
Yes.
Okay, let's go really hyped.
Yep.
And we'll start recording.
Yeah. Jump on the tables. Yeah, bring on Bama. Do that. Nope. They
Flip
ran
a
with the
table,
original.
throw a chair, something.
Yeah.
They ran with the original one. Was like, oh no, not Bama.
Not Bama. We wanted Florida State.
This one comes from the 314. Narrative or reality, Doug Armstrong is starting to fall in that same category with John Mozeliak when it comes to St. Louis sports fan base, or with the St. Louis sports fan base when it comes to bad contracts, letting great players walk away because of arrogance, etc., etc.
Wow, that's a very strongly worded text. Here's the thing, is Blues fans love or hate Army's decisions because he's a cold-blooded assassin? Mm-hmm. They love it or they hate it. So, which version do you want? I don't know. Like most people, he doesn't let the players dictate how he's going to run his team. They let the players dictate what they get for a contract or no movement clause. And he digs his heels in. That's what I want out of my GM. That's what I want. And then the flip side is people, he digs his heels in too firmly. And what are you going to do? He can't. I mean, I guess he could fluctuate in how he does business. I think it's a bad way to do things. A number of years now, a long time of the way he's going to operate. And that's that. Just the way it is. If the deal makes sense, if the deal helps the team, if it makes sense financially, roster-wise, all that stuff, Army's going to. If he doesn't feel like it makes sense for the on-ice product or the off-ice business side of it, then he's not going to do it. It's just the bottom line. So you can dislike him for that, but for every one person that dislikes it, there's another one or two that love it.
All right, that was Narrative Reality. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Why don't we do What's Trending next? Let's do What's Trending around sports. Then we've got the Gauntlet. Brad Thompson's going to be joining us, too, from 4 to 6. But let's do What's Trending next on 101 ESPN.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, your one-stop shop for amazing vehicles and deals. The pre-owned inventory right now for Londoff Chevrolet is fantastic. From cars, trucks, SUVs, they're all priced to sell. And there's financing available for everyone. No matter what your credit situation is, Johnny Londoff Chevrolet is going to work with you to get you that vehicle that you need. And if anybody that you know is interested in a vehicle, bring them in too, because Londoff Chevrolet is pricing everything right now, pricing everything to go. They've got a 2021 Buick Encore for just $22,157. They've got a Ford Escape, a 2020 Ford Escape for $22,508. They have some great deals. They got the 2024 Chevy Trax that are arriving daily. Chevy Trax, they combine the head-turning looks and impressive capability, all at an extremely affordable price tag. And that's right, the Londoff Chevrolet team is always looking to price things for you to be able to buy and then give you great customer service along with that. So please stop by either location. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. But if you can't get there in person, get there online. Visit Londoff.com or LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
What's trending in the world of sports? The Fast Lane has you covered. What's trending now?
Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate to Goodwill to win a magical Polar Express staycation.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, and here's Andrew Marshall with What's Trending.
All right, gentlemen. Kenny Pickett. Old Kenny Pickett. Injured. High ankle sprain for small hands Pickett.
Oh,
and Mitchie football back in for the Steelers and a riveting matchup. Thursday night football, baby. To kick off week 14. The Pittsburgh Steelers against the New England Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
Big Ben against Tom Brady. Oh, wait. No. Yeah.
No. It'll be Mitchie football versus Mac Jones 2 on Thursday Night Football. What a terrible matchup. Even if Kenny Pickett was playing, it'd still be a terrible matchup. But yeah, that's a tough break for Pickett. He underwent ankle surgery to quote unquote accelerate the healing process on the high ankle sprain, according to Mike Tomlin. Pickett will be out for the Thursday night game against the Patriots, and then the timetable is we don't know. So not great, but they did not look good yesterday against the formidable Arizona Cardinals. Some crap football going on, Jamie.
At what point does Amazon flex? At what point does Jeff Bezos finally pick his head up and go, what are you doing to me? Roger Goodell, no, this is going to stop now, or my sponsorship's about to stop. You decide, because I can't handle absolutely nobody watching my games on Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know what the contract looks like between Amazon and the NFL, but Jamie, you know Bezos' lawyer is probably looking through that thing, looking for an out clause, looking for something.
Yeah. I mean, it's just awful. You can count on one hand easily the number of relevant games that have been on Thursday Night Football since its existence.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Not even just this week. It's so the Lions and Chiefs was good to open up the season. Vikings and Eagles was good. Then you had Giants 49ers. Lions-Packers, I guess, was still, it wasn't competitive, but the matchup was fine. But since week 5, I think you've gone downhill. Bears and Commanders, Broncos-Chiefs, before the Broncos were winning. Jaguars-Saints, Bucks-Bills. Week 9 was Titans-Steelers. Panthers-Bears. Who could forget the Panthers-Bears matchup a couple of weeks ago? Yeah, not great.
I feel like at the beginning of the season, though, like that is a good matchup on paper. You have Justin Fields going up against Bryce Young. That is the reason that is the matchup.
Yeah, and you can't do anything about Bengals-Ravens when Joe Burrow gets hurt in the first half. But
last year was bad too, guys.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Do either team on Thursday night? Do either team score? Like, do they get into the double digits? Or is this a 9-6, 9-3 game? Something like that.
I think it's a 12-6 game.
12-6. 12-6.
12. How did we get to 12, Marshy? Help me.
So you're probably thinking, wow,
Field goals.
Let's do 4 times 3 right there. No, we're going to score a touchdown. We're going to get a field goal, and there's going to be a safety.
Okay. we did have a 13-8 game yesterday between my Falcons and the Jets.
I thought that was going to be a 3-2 game.
13-8 was that final.
Me too. I saw that at one point.
The Jets, 2 field goals and a safety. And the Falcons had a touchdown and two field goals. Wow.
You know what? We got an interesting text right here from the 618. Says the NFL is garbage. Now, I don't think the NFL is garbage, but do you think the NFL has been trending down in terms of like the play that we're seeing this season? Like, it seems like it's very top heavy, and there's a lot of just mediocre teams.
Offenses are down. Offense is down, so it feels brutal. You also have a lot of quarterbacks that are injured. Aaron Rodgers played 2 snaps this season. Kirk Cousins has been out for a long time now. Now you lost another quarterback in Kenny Pickett. Deshaun Watson is out for the season. And not that Deshaun Watson was playing well, but at least you still had maybe Deshaun Watson will eventually shake off the rust and start playing better. You know, you at least had kind of the thought of that. I mean, there's other QBs that are out too, right? Daniel Jones, I don't think he was any great, but Daniel Jones is out. The quarterback situation around the league is not great. That is why the NFL feels in the 6-1 hates, thought process. It's garbage.
And by the way, the 636 says that the Stalter stack up 10 slots still undefeated.
That's right,
That is definitely what's trending.
Do you think the Stalter stack up should have been in the college football top 4? Because I do. Like, if we're going on resumes, the Stalter stack up 10 spot is unbeaten.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if it is undefeated.
But I don't have an injury. Like Florida State does. I think it should have been Michigan, Washington, Texas, and then the 10 spot in the Stalter stack up. And Marsh, that it would beat Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Michigan's definitely losing to Alabama.
No, Michigan's going to lose to the Stalter stack up 10. It would have. That's what I asked you. It would have.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know what kind of devil magic you got going on over there.
Stack up than Alabama.
Here's a better way of going about it. With the Stalter Stack-Up Committee, because there's clearly a committee that works with placing teams at number 10. It's not just one person who is an Atlanta Falcons fan. It's definitely a committee.
It's a committee, yeah.
Would they have put Florida State in the Stalter Stack-Up?
Probably not, no.
Okay.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, just checking.
A 10.
10. Right, it's not the entire Stalter stack-up. It's who's ranked 10th.
This is interesting from the Dodgers manager Dave Roberts saying that Mookie Betts will be their everyday second baseman next season. So clearly here in St. Louis we have infielders that are playing in the outfield. Well, in LA they have outfielders that are playing in the infield. Mm-hmm. Is that actually what the Cardinals need to do to get back to being one of the best teams in the National League?
No, I like their approach. I think playing infielders out in the outfield is the way to go. They're revolutionizing the league. You saw how well it worked last year from a win-loss standpoint. They're going to iron out the wrinkles, Jamie, and they're going to be right back. I think everybody they should play.
Fantastic.
Jamie, I think everybody that they should not play, but acquire should be an infielder that can play in the outfield.
Every utility player out there
should be a Cardinal.
Put him on the roster.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't Mookie Betts used to be an infielder, though?
He could play anywhere. I don't think
he's a great player.
I don't think he didn't play in the infield with the Red Sox, but
he didn't. Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought he started there and then they moved him to the outfield.
Maybe from like a minor league standpoint. They're probably just looking at it. They probably like their outfielders. And after they get Shohei Ohtani,
Who do you like more than Mookie Betts?
I don't know.
Good God.
But I mean, maybe they let me rephrase. Maybe they like their outfielders better than what they have at second base. So they'd rather move him to second. I don't know.
Is Shohei Ohtani going to play outfield for the Dodgers?
Probably, yeah.
Can he even throw the baseball?
No, he can't. No.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter is right.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
He'll just run it in and tag somebody.
Last thing here, going back to the NFL, sorry, 618, but Brock Purdy, after his performance against the Eagles, now sits atop the odds for league MVP.
I have no problem with that. I really don't. If you have watched him play, people are going to say, he's a product of, Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Shanahan and Deebo Samuel. I hear people say that Tua should be the MVP or considered the MVP and have no issue with it. Yet he has Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and it's very similar. Brock Purdy has played some damn near perfect games thus far. So I have no issue with it. I really don't. And Jalen Hurts, unfortunately, yesterday was kind of ugly for him. Dak hasn't played anybody yet. So, and the one time he did, I think he turned the ball over 16 times. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right, Jamie, have a good rest of your day, my man. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you. I think tomorrow you'll be back into town. But Jamie's going to be on the broadcast tonight for Blues and Golden Knights for Bally Sports Midwest, but he'll be back with us tomorrow. BT steps in from 4 to 6, and we have another Gauntlet Round 3 matchup coming your way next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Hey, as the weather gets colder here in St. Louis, you know that the NFL offers for FanDuel, they continue to stay hot. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins, and you know it's going to win, BT.
They always win, okay? You've got all the bets. You've been telling everybody about it. You might as well tell them to go to FanDuel. FanDuel.com/fast. That's it. FanDuel.com/fast. It's that easy, Anthony. You get that free bonus, and bingo, bango, bongo.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the spread. You don't have to worry about totals. No, just win the money line bet.
It's
and
easy.
then when you get the $150, then you can play your spreads and your same game parlays and whatever you want to.
Know who's going to win, Anthony.
Yeah.
Everybody, especially
like the Chiefs lesson.
Almost every time you know who's going to win.
Yeah.
But FanDuel's the place.
No doubt. The app's super easy to use. Wide range of betting options that include the spreads, the player props, the over-unders, the same game parlays. As Brad told you, visit FanDuel.com/fast. Again, FanDuel.com/fast. And make sure you kick off that NFL, not kick off, but kick off the Thursday night game. How about that? Or tonight's Monday night game with FanDuel.
21 and over, present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issues non-withdrawable bonus. Best that expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, back with you here, joined by our good buddy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. And Stewie, I know you've got a great story about a refinancing that just happened.
That's right, Jamie. You know, we've been talking about rates dropping right now, and people should refinance. If you bought a house in the last 12 months, you're probably paying a high rate. You should be able to refinance right now as they drop. Keep in mind, though, the Federal Reserve is meeting next week, and comments that they recently made, they may be raising the interest rates, if not now, in the future. So nobody knows what's going to happen in the months to come and the days to come. But an ESPN listener took advantage. They were close to 8% on their interest rate. They refinanced with us, paid off the PMI, so no more PMI on it. They saved about $600 a month on their payment. Now, here was the fun part of it. She calls me up. She says to me, hey, Christmas is coming. I want to buy my grandpa this old Corvette that he's always wanted all his life. Cost $40,000. We refinanced that loan. We gave her the $40,000, and our payment still went down $220. So there's much opportunity out there to improve your position. You just have to pick up the phone and make the effort.
That's right. You pick up the phone, you can call or text. He hands out his personal cell phone number for a reason. He wants you to call him, and he wants you to make sure that you're not on hold and dealing with press 1, press 2, press 3, and then you're still on hold and you don't talk to anybody. No, when you pick up the phone or you call Stewie, you text him, you're going to actually get Stewie. And if you have to leave a message, Stewie will call you right back. He's phenomenal at this. 314-324-4440, or you could Google the bank loan to get that number, but you got to pick up the phone, you got to call him, and then your process can start when it comes to saving money over your loan. Stewie, keep up the great work. Thank you.
Have a good day, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
Warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit masstour.com.
403, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Brad Thompson in for the next 2 hours. What's up, BT?
Good.
Okay, he's filling the role of Jamie pretty well there.
The hotel connection in Vegas,
It
not
sucks,
easy.
yeah.
Tough when you're playing blackjack and you're doing a radio show at the same time.
I think he might be playing blackjack now, Jamie. Now that
You think so?
Yeah,
Was he in a swim-up pool? You think one of
He
those
may
ones
have
where you
been.
just roll up there and you get to play and just hang out?
Yeah, I think he was before the show, and then
Okay.
he's like, "Oh, fine, I'll do the show."
Fine,
Yeah.
whatever. Work.
Either way,
happens.
you can see him tonight as the Blues take on the Golden
wait.
Knights. Your Golden Knights there, BT.
Yeah, I mean, they're no sharks, Anthony, but boy,
Okay.
they're tough.
All right, same. Get the shark joke out of the way. Kyle is back. What's up, Kyle?
What's up, man? How we doing?
Doing great. So this is round 3 for you. You beat Carrie, who was filling in for Jamie at the time. You beat Marsh, and now it's me. So I think, do you have to spin the wheel or does he choose? No, he chooses the category.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, so you get to choose. It's either hockey or random against me.
Oh, well, let's do random. Can I say something to BT real quick?
Kyle, as long as it's clean, go for it.
It's very clean. I think a buddy of yours is my principal that I work for.
Really?
Yeah, his last name Faircop.
Okay. I do know him very well. Is he a
Yes,
good,
sir,
is
that's
he a
my
good boss?
Well, it's my first year in that district. I was 7 years before that, so we are 5 months in. So far, so good.
All right. Well, he was warning me about you, actually. So just keep your P's and Q's aligned, okay?
Well, that's the reason I'm not cursing. I need the job.
Good call. Good call on that.
So, Kyle, are you a teacher?
Yeah, remember I was the one that had the four corners, the geography teacher?
Oh, no. That's why you chose random. All right.
You might be in trouble, my man.
Well, Kyle, good luck to you, pal.
Hey, you too.
All right, thank you.
All right, Anthony Stalter is off to the cone of silence. I mean, I don't have to tell you the rules. Kyle, first of all, you're a teacher. You retain information very easily, and it is your third leg of this. So geography, is that what you said you teach?
Well, I teach lower. I'll just say lower,
Okay.
so I teach pretty much everything.
Fair. All right, Kyle, let's do it. Here we go. Question number 1. This is going to be right up Anthony's alley here. Name the U.S. president who reportedly had a special bathtub installed for him in the White House big enough to hold 4 men. Not saying he did hold 4 men in it.
I'm sorry. The fact that you said that was Anthony's specialty just made me feel a little. That was that funny. Yeah, I'm going to need the choices. If he knows this, he's cheating.
All right. Is it Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Martin Van Buren, or William Howard Taft?
All right, let's go Taft. Final answer.
Question number 2. What is the official state mineral of Missouri?
State mineral, you said?
What is the official state mineral of Missouri?
Oh, my gosh. Actually, I've heard this. Mineral rock, so it's not that. I don't know how to say it. Galena? Does that sound right?
Spell it for us if you want to.
Oh, I can do that. Galena.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. I didn't even know there were state minerals at Marshy. Did you know that was a thing?
No.
Had no clue.
I knew they had minerals.
Yes.
Around town.
For sure.
Yeah.
I had to pick something totally different. Maybe not even a mineral.
Science class.
Question number 3, Kyle. Who hosted The Tonight Show for exactly 30 years?
Oh, it's got to be Johnny Carson. Final answer.
And question number 4. Name the author responsible for creating the character of James Bond.
The author. Oh, man. I know who that is, too. It's either... do I have to know the first name?
Yes.
Oh, man. Come on. Marsh. Fleming. I know that's the last name. Not William. Yeah, I need... So if I have to... Yeah, I'll do the options then if I have to have the first name.
Options are Ernest Hemingway, John Le Carre, or Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming.
God, I tell you, I think you did you dirty, Kyle. I'd have probably given it to you. Either way, them's the rules.
It is the
I
playoffs.
dominated him, so he was upset.
It is the playoffs. That's exactly what it is.
Hold on now, Kyle.
I'm kidding, Mark. I have to be mad at you. I told you, my girl thinks you look like Brendan and Donovan, and that's her favorite Cardinal.
It's a problem. That is a bit of a problem. I think he's better looking. Anyways, let's bring in Anthony Stalter out of the cone of silence. Kyle, how you feeling about this one? You feeling confident?
I think I may have got one wrong, but just don't let Anthony invite you into his bathtub, though, Mark.
No doubt about that. All right, Anthony is back from the cone of silence.
How do we do?
Pack a lunch? I mean, I think this is all I can tell you at this point, Anthony. How have you been faring in these recently?
Pretty good. March, don't you tally the...
Yeah, so Anthony actually just defeated Mike in hockey on Friday. So that means if Kyle wins today, he needs a loss by Aaron tomorrow to be the Gauntlet champion.
Oh, wow. I didn't know there was only 2 left. I thought there were 3.
Gauntlet play. No.
Here we are.
Took care of Mike last week.
Golly, we should have said that beforehand. That might have scared Kyle a little bit.
Oh, no.
Who's got Aaron next?
That would be me.
Get it, Marsh.
And
I take it back. Every bad thing I said.
In either baseball or hockey, which are my two best categories.
Well, there you go. Marsh is feeling confident.
Watch it.
All right, let's get this over, as the kids would say, BT.
All right, Anthony. Question number 1. Name the U.S. president who reportedly had a special bathtub installed for him in the White House, big enough to hold 4 men. Not that he did that.
I believe that was Truman. Final answer? Yeah, Truman.
right.
Final answer.
Question number 2. What is the official state mineral of Missouri?
I might need some options on that. Yeah, I'm going to need some options, please.
All right. No idea if I'm saying these correctly, but we have pumice,
I'd go pumice.
galena or galena, or quartz.
Let's go with Galena. Final answer.
All right, Anthony. Question number 1.
These are awful. These are some teacher-ass questions. I'll tell you
Maybe this one's up your alley. Who hosted The Tonight Show for exactly 30 years?
Johnny Carson.
Final answer?
Final answer.
And question number 4. Name the author responsible for creating the character of James Bond.
The author?
Yeah, apparently it was a book.
Who knew? You got me on that one, huh? Can I have the options, please?
Options are Ernest Hemingway, John Le Carre, or Ian Fleming.
Hemingway, John Le Carre, or who?
Or Ian Fleming.
Hemingway's the only one I know, so let's just cross that off. I mean, Jean Le Carre, that kind of sounds like a Bond villain or something. Why don't we go him? Jean Le Carre.
Final answer, Anthony?
Final answer, Brad.
Jean
Le
Le
Carre.
Carre. Let's start there with Jean Le Carre, maybe. The author responsible for creating the character of James Bond. Anthony went Jean Le Carre. Kyle said, man, I know, is it Fleming? Fleming. Do I have to have the first name? Marcia said, yeah, you have to have the first name because you beat me the other day. So now rules matter.
Yeah.
So he took the options. He went with Ian Fleming.
Yeah.
The answer is...
It's Ian Fleming.
Yeah,
It is Ian
that makes
Fleming.
sense.
That is Ian Fleming. A 1-0 lead. Who hosted The Tonight Show for exactly 30 years? Anthony, no options. I mean, Mr. Late Night himself went Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
Kyle, you said Johnny Carson. The answer is...
Johnny Carson.
He didn't need the options either,
Okay,
Anthony.
yeah. Sandbagging
He
son
didn't
of a-
need the options. So, still a 1-point lead here for Kyle. The official state mineral of Missouri. We didn't know how to pronounce any of them. Found out right here during this gauntlet that there are state minerals.
Yeah.
It's probably written down somewhere.
Who knew?
Now-
Somebody, just not us.
Anthony, after hearing different pronunciations, you landed on Galena or Galena or Galena. Kyle, you also landed on Galena or Galena or Galena. The answer is
Galena, Galena, or Galena.
All right.
Kyle didn't need the options.
Of course he didn't.
Mr. Mineral himself, Anthony. I mean, you're down by 3.
With one
Going
left.
into the last one.
Which is worth 3 points.
That's correct. New
If
rules.
I got it right.
The U.S. president who had a special bathtub installed for him and not for 4 men, but big enough to house them.
Sure.
Anthony, without the options, you went Truman. Figured that was a true man thing to do.
No doubt.
Kyle, you took the options. You went with William Howard Taft.
Ooh, who's Taft?
Yeah, that's
Son
right.
of
It
a-
is William Howard Taft.
It
Kyle,
was Taft.
You have chosen wisely.
You know,
Kyle, it was a beatdown.
But it was a T.
You went with the T word,
Yeah.
but that we got the wrong T. Kyle, I mean, A great victory, 6-3 winner over Anthony Stalter. I mean, that's
third.
That's a
on that
beatdown.
one. Yeah, nice job.
Nice
Kyle.
job, Kyle.
I appreciate it. I guessed on both my options, so I got lucky.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You took me behind the woodshed, man. You own it. You were Texas. I was Oklahoma State on that one. So just a rough day all the way around.
Yeah.
And now you're in the college football playoff, if not the championship.
You're Florida State. He's the committee.
All right, Chattanooga, number 4 seed.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yep, I was Chattanooga, you were Bama a couple of weeks ago. All right, so Kyle, you now have to root for Marsh tomorrow because if Marsh wins,
Well, here's the thing. Aaron is out of town.
oh, no.
So we will not have Aaron on until either Thursday or Friday. So
there's
sorry,
a
Kyle, you got
pause?
to wait a few days.
Oh, suspense. It's killing me.
Hey, that's all right. You build up the drama.
Hey, when you have no life, you know weird stuff like I do.
No, you're a teacher. You know important stuff.
That's right. You're feeding all of this information to the future.
Absolutely.
Kyle. Keep it up.
Like how to not pronounce Galena.
Right.
Or Galena.
Or Galena. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, nice job, Kyle. Stay tuned.
All right, thanks, you guys.
All right. Was Truman an option?
No, sure
I
wasn't.
would have got Taft.
Got a text that said, did Taft die in said bathtub? Or am I making that up? I don't know.
No, he didn't. The closest, I believe, that was a well-known figure to die in a bathroom, of course, was Elvis, who died on the throne.
That's right. Whitney Houston is actually the
And
answer.
Whitney Houston also did as well.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. Remember making a comment about that.
You did, huh?
A little wrist slap.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not make it again, Brad. Let's.
I want to know what it is.
No, well, you can say it during a break if need be. So, okay, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Mike Ryder saying something to Brad.
Yeah.
Do you remember it, Ryder? Yeah, he does. Yeah, okay, there we go.
Seriously was.
All right. Brad,
Yeah.
why don't we get into this FSU topic?
What happened?
They got left out of the college football playoff.
Can't be their undefeated Power 5 team. They won their championship, Anthony.
Yeah, checks out. They should be out. That's next on 101 ESPN. Not really.
Save money on your car or your home insurance with Allstate Insurance and Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. They have some of the most competitive rates out there. And one thing I can tell you from personal experience is that with Allstate and Tracy Bibb, you're going to get that personal attention that you require, that you need from your insurance agent. It's not just a 1-800 number where you call somebody different every single time and they don't know you. And they don't understand your situation, and it can be frustrating and stressful. No, call somebody who knows you and can help immediately. Tracy Bibb has been incredible for myself and my kids and anything to do with my family, to where she has had to respond or send a insurance card or check your rates or your whatever it is. She's on it all the time. That's the Bibb Agency. That's the personal attention that you deserve, and that's what you get from Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. So please call for a free non-committal quote. That number is 314-328-4260. Again, that number is 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
'Tis the season of giving, and 101 ESPN wants to give you free Cardinals tickets. You could text in now at 314-399-9646 to score a Cardinals holiday pack of tickets. Today we're giving away a Cardinals Friday 5-game pack of tickets, including games against the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Mariners, and more. The Moors probably like the Pirates or somebody. You know, we just put in the more.
I feel like we should just name them. Reds, Rockies, maybe.
Rockies, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, is that and more? Rockies for sure.
Yeah, Reds. Reds not
Could
bad,
be.
right? But Dodgers, Brewers, Mariners, Reds, and more.
Friday night at the ballpark, Anthony. Sign me up.
Darn right.
314-966.
Nope, Brad, you're ineligible. The Cardinals Friday pack, along with all the Cardinals holiday ticket packs, are on sale now, with some starting at just $55. You can learn more about Cardinals holiday ticket packs at 101ESPN.com. But again, we have a free pack to give away right now. You have to be the 101st texter with the correct answer to 314-399-9646. You've also had to be kind of paying attention to not this show necessarily, but previous shows. Who out of Marsh, me, and Jamie is currently lined up to do the Waffle House Challenge? Who out of Marsh, me, and Jamie is currently lined up to have to do the Waffle House Challenge? So you have to be kind of a fan of the show, know what's going on. And if you are, you'll know what to look for, and then you'll have an opportunity to win the Cardinals holiday pack.
Yeah, I know the answer.
Brad, I don't want to know the answer from you. I want to know whether or not the committee goofed up last night yesterday morning by announcing Florida State
Anthony,
at number 5 and Alabama at number 4.
I don't think there's a simple answer for this, because and I think that Florida State's head coach, Mike Norvell, he nailed it with the way that he spoke, and he talked about being disgusted and infuriated. Understandable, I would say, since you did everything that was asked of you. You win this isn't like some random school, non-Power 5 that just runs the table. It's like, do we give them a chance?
Right.
It's Florida State.
Cincinnati got in 2 years ago.
I know. And how did that look, by the way?
It didn't look great, Brad.
I know.
It didn't look great.
So that's a great example, okay? Cincinnati made it in a couple of years ago, and everybody kind of knew that they shouldn't have been one of the top 4 teams. And then what happened? Well, they got beat up bad, and like semifinal games have not been the best. The best one we've had recently, we had Georgia Ohio State. Like that's a great game.
Last year was fantastic because TCU and Michigan kept going back and forth, and that wound up being an upset. And then, like you said, Ohio State didn't kick the game winner until the ball's being dropped in New York.
You're right.
For New Year's Day.
So the idea of, and I'm not saying that Florida State, with what they did, I mean, they ran the table, did everything that they could do. We all know they're also on their third quarterback. That's what this hinged upon. But I feel like it would have happened the same way. Had they gotten in, they were whatever seed you want to put them. I think they end up getting boat raced in the semifinals.
Yeah, and I think the committee knew that.
Exactly. That's why they made this decision.
Yeah, and they had to make it difficult. They knew they were screwing over Florida State. So we can
But
kind
out of all the teams to screw over, the one that didn't lose a game is a very difficult one.
That's tough, right? You're going to screw over Alabama?
Sure. They've had nothing but success, Anthony. If you're going to screw somebody that's been screwed before.
Definitely not Texas, though. Right, BT? Give me some right here, baby.
Yeah.
All right, Quinn. But Texas at least beat Alabama.
Sure did.
So if they would have went with Florida State,
on the road,
Alabama's not getting screwed over because they did lose. Okay, so it wouldn't be Alabama that got screwed over. You know who'd be screwed over?
Texas.
College football fans.
Who
had to watch.
Anthony, look at you, big picture.
Who had to watch the backup, Tate Rodemeyer, who could not move the ball against Florida.
Well, Tate also got hurt.
Yeah, but I think Tate would have been back. Rodemaker would have been back for the playoff game. That's what they were saying. Either way, Michigan's defense, say what you want about Michigan and all that, Michigan's defense is outstanding.
What about Florida State's defense, Anthony?
Yeah, you're looking at a low scoring. Well, Iowa had a great defense too. How'd they do against Michigan?
Not as good as Michigan.
No. So you probably would have seen a similar low scoring Michigan Iowa game.
Now, this is all hypothetical.
Okay.
Because this probably will not happen. But let's just hypothetically speaking, Florida State beats Georgia.
And I think they will. Because I think that is going to be Florida State's...
the Apathy Bowl, Anthony?
That's going to be Florida State's national title game.
I don't think
they are going to be so hyped up. What is the line?
How hyped are you after you just got kicked in the junk, Anthony? Are you like super ready to perform?
You know what I am? I'm furious.
You're a 2-point underdog.
And I'm looking for...
2-score underdog.
And I'm looking for the person that just kicked me in the... Huevos Rancheros, and I'm going to murder them and their family.
They're a two. What are they? A 10-point underdog?
2-score. I think it's. I don't know if it's 10 or if it's 2 touchdowns.
I'll bet Florida State right now for sure. Georgia does not care. Like there is there's no
14
for sure.
Florida State's a 14-point dog.
I think both these teams are upset. But I will agree with
kind
you.
of upset.
But do you really think that if Florida State goes out there and they beat the brakes, even if they're a 2-touchdown underdog to Georgia, do you think that the nation would be like, oh, yeah, they deserved it?
Of course not, Brad. But in the building, they'd be saying, we're the national champions.
Mike Norvell's going to say, hey, this is us. We are.
They're going to be like UCF.
Team.
UCF from like 3 4 years ago.
They got screwed now. If we want to talk about a team that got screwed. Banner.
Yeah. Florida State, I'm telling you right now, at 4 o'clock Eastern on Saturday, December 30th in the Capital One Orange Bowl, Florida State's going to be playing its version of its national title game.
You calling this easy money, Anthony?
Nah, I wouldn't do that because, that's...
I was just going to bring up Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. I didn't call them easy money. I did like them, though, and I like Georgia.
When was the last time we had two national champions?
Co-national champions?
Was that in the 90s?
It was in the 90s, I think.
And it's possible. I think we can see it again.
Yeah, this is I feel bad, honestly. If you're a Florida State fan, you and I were talking about this earlier today. Like, yeah, if you're one of the guys that are out there, if you're a coach, if you poured everything into it, that sucks because you could not have done anything more. And we all look for, and I understand this is a term that is not a real thing. We just want... What is fair?
Right.
What is fair? Fair should be you run the table, you're a Power 5 team, you should be there. Unfortunately, the NCAA does not have the latitude, although I believe they should, to call an emergency expansion. 6 teams. That's it. It's 6 now because 6 would put in Georgia and Florida State, and then you have all the teams in it that you want, and then you hash it all out.
Let them play each other in the bowl game, and then a week later, just delay the playoffs a little bit. You have them play the bowl game, and the winner gets in.
Yeah, I'm in.
I don't know the math on that.
No, it's not good, honestly, with the numbers, but
you have to give some buys. Anyways,
were you shocked though when it happened? I know you guys talked about this a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I was surprised because
it's not an easily defensible position.
No,
when you're just looking at it. If you're looking at it on the surface, if you're not buying in, if you're not a big college football fan, you're watching, you know who's good, you know who's not. You don't understand that. But when you're looking at it and then you see, who are the best teams for your money, I'd much rather watch Michigan, Alabama. And by the way, you want to talk about somebody other than Florida State that's pissed off? How about Michigan? Who's in there? It's like, really? The Tide. Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
Good.
We're ready. That's a tough draw. that is a tough draw.
But that's kind of the point, though, too, right? Like the committee. So you think about it. All right. So Michigan doesn't want to face Alabama. They want to face Florida State.
Of course they do.
That's what the committee did for us.
Is this Harbaugh's penalty? Is that what this is?
We told you we get you.
Steal these signs. Take your 3 games in Bama.
You're right, and then go to the Bears.
And then like Washington, Texas is going to be.
It's
that's
phenomenal.
Be a shootout. That game too.
It's going to be great.
I'm looking forward to it. Like, this is a really
every college football fan except for Florida State is looking forward to this.
Or we can people that want fairness, Anthony.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, that's not fair.
Right. They'll still be watching too, though.
Of course they will.
Or they won't because they just cry, foul, and then they go on to the next thing that they cry about.
But there is a culture of that.
Yeah.
If you're always looking for fair, you're never going to find it.
No, that's very true. But I guess it keeps you going because, you'll never find it. It's weird.
Does it work that way?
It's the
I would give
game.
up at some point. It's like, hey, look, life isn't fair.
Right. At what point do you say, you know what, life isn't fair, and I've got to stop this approach?
How many times can it not fall my way?
Right.
And I complain about it instead of do something.
That's Brad Thompson.
Do something.
That's
and they expanded, Anthony, next year.
Right.
Next year, 12 teams.
Next year, we don't have to worry about
no
this.
Beef.
No
And some really bad battles probably on the back end of this.
but everything will be on the line. There is no such thing. It's like that first playoff game on a wild card weekend. Nobody really is looking forward to it, but you're watching it because it's a playoff game.
Because it matters.
This
This one matters.
Yep. Mo on MLB Network talking about, some interesting things. Get Brad's opinion on that next. On 101 ESPN. Brad, we've got Monday Night Football tonight. We've got some Thursday night games and a full slate on Sunday. Plenty of opportunities for new customers that sign up to FanDuel to take advantage of that promo that they're offering right now. You get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet.
Oh, so I got to cover the spread.
Yeah, no, Brad, you don't have to worry about the spread. It's just a money line bet.
The total. I got to worry about the total.
Don't have to parlay anything. All you have to do is have your team win the game. Then you get $150 back when your team wins.
It's easy, Anthony. Just do it tonight. Jacksonville. Jacksonville's going to win.
Yeah, there you go.
They're going to beat the Bengals. Bingo, bango, bongo. You're telling me if I just put in that qualified bet,
that's it.
I get $150 in bonus bets?
Bingo.
Where's that at?
Well, it's at FanDuel. It's not anywhere else.
Well, here's where you go. FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com/fast. That's where it is. You do that, you insert our promo code FAST, FanDuel.com/fast, and you are all signed up. Put in that $5 bet. You're going to win, probably on the Jaguars. Hey, look, just you don't have to take my advice. Anthony's got all the winners. But
sometimes
Jacksonville feels good.
Yeah.
Go to FanDuel.com/fast. Get in on the action over at FanDuel. 21 and over, present in Illinois. First online real money wager. Only $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issues, non-withdrawable bonus. Best that starts 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues are back in action tonight, taking on the Vegas Golden Knights, looking to bounce back after a 4-1 loss to the Arizona Coyotes over the weekend. The Blues will be in action in Vegas with the pregame starting at 8 and the puck drop at 9. You can listen to that right here on 101 ESPN. We just got done talking about Florida State missing the college football playoff. Those 4 teams are Michigan at number 1, Washington at number 2, BT's Texas Longhorns at 3, and Alabama at number 4. John Mozeliak talked on MLB Network Radio. We're going to dive into what he had to say about your St. Louis Cardinals coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Brad Thompson. I'm Anthony Stalter. And Mo was on MLB Network Radio talking about a variety of topics, including the outfield.
Who was he with? Was he with, like, Mad Dog Russo?
I can't remember. What was the host? Marsh?
I don't know. I just asking. Usually if it's Mad Dog has, and dude,
he's all over the place.
One of the most respected voices ever, okay, in the history of the game. But his, line of questioning is very interesting. You got a shortstop, talk about him. Like, what? He was interviewing A.J. Preller today as I was driving around.
Last year, finished last. What do you think?
Your owner died. Does that reflect your spending? Go ahead and talk about that for a minute. Yeah, we're very saddened by the passing of Peter Seidler.
Jeez.
I thought he retired. What happened with that?
Oh, no.
No.
What a liar.
Yeah.
That's kind of a eat your shoe type thing. Or
right.
Your hat.
Yeah.
Mo was on
the Diamondbacks.
He was on the leadoff spot, which includes Steve Phillips, C.J. Nikowski, and Eduardo Perez.
Oh,
right,
nice.
there you go.
Xavier Scruggs on that sometimes too.
Yeah,
Scruggs, former
Cardinal. Yeah. All right. So one of the things that was posed to Mo was Gorman or Donovan.
For what?
We'll find out now.
Well, we really like our club. First off, from an offensive standpoint, I mean, really, it's going to be like in terms of just trying to find at bats for certain players. So when you look at our infield right now, you could imagine it's going to be Goldie, and then at second base, is it going to be Gorman or Donovan? Is it going to be Wynn at short, and then Arenado at third? So pretty solid there. It's just a matter of like how we distribute those at bats. In the outfield right now, if we were to play tomorrow, it'd likely be Newt, Tommy Edman, and Walker. And so, our fourth outfielder would be Dylan Carlson. But obviously, we're going to go into camp. We're going to see what that looks like. Tyler O'Neill is somebody that we are listening to on trades. Getting a lot of hits on our outfielders, and we're just going to see what that does for us. But overall, we like our everyday club, so we're not really in a market to try to do much there, other than see what we might be able to get for one of those players.
All right, Anthony, I know you led with the Gorman or Donovan. We'll get into that maybe at second base, but I wish that Mo would stop playing it so coy with the Tyler O'Neill situation. Like, what do you want to do with them? That's what I would like. Like, what? I mean, answer the question.
Right. He must not be getting any hits on Tyler O'Neill.
Trying to fish with dynamite?
Yeah.
He's still available.
At this point, he must not be receiving any calls.
I don't think that that's the case. I do wonder. It's hard, right? So when you're thinking about trading a player, what you want to do is build up value. Well, the value is not built up due to the fact that the player hasn't been able to stay on the field the last couple of years.
Yeah.
We know the back and forth early in the season with the manager. I think that was blown up to a far bigger deal than it actually was in the building, but it's there nonetheless. You look at the depth chart, and you could look at it and read it out that way, or you could have your president of baseball operations say it in a interview that your guy is fifth man here in line. So if you're a team that would like to acquire Tyler O'Neill, chances are you're not going to want to pony up a ton. But I also...
See what you did there.
What'd I do?
Pony up a ton.
Oh, T-O-N?
Yeah.
Tyler O'Neill. Didn't even mean to.
You nailed it, though.
Yeah.
You did. That's how good you are. Go ahead.
Cardinals give up a ton, but it was Tyler O'Neill.
Right.
Like, that'll be the trade.
Exactly.
Write that down, Post-Dispatch.
For a A-ball prospect. Go ahead. You were saying.
So here's the thing, though, with Tyler O'Neill. Tyler O'Neill has a skill set. And again, I know when 2021 was. I don't need a time machine. Yes, he can bench. I would say probably a significant amount.
Curls.
Anthony can probably curl a good amount. Now, there was a time where he couldn't lift his small child. That's how bad his back was. Remember that, too. Injuries have kept him off the field. But if you're a team, you look at him and you say, well, first of all, you just look at him. Yeah, no, that'll work. We can figure that out. But seriously, you saw what he did and you say, yes, he could do that for us. Or, hey, we've dug into his video, or we believe in our strength program. We believe in our trainers. We can keep him on the field, whatever it is. He is a piece that you would be interested in bringing in. But right now, I'm not going to overpay for Tyler O'Neill if I don't believe I have to do so.
Right.
I just don't know what the Cardinals want to do with him. You know?
He is a player that teams that are just trying to fill out their rosters should be interested in.
See, but I think that he is a player that you bring in and you have him competing in spring training, and then all of a sudden you're not surprised if he's like your best player in April.
I'm looking at it more like I'm the A's and I need to fill an outfield spot. I'll just give him the runway.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about big league teams.
No, I'm talking about the triple.
The A's in.
What are they called? 4A team. I'm looking at the 4A.
The 4A's?
Oakland/Las Vegas A's.
I gotcha.
That's a team I think would be interested.
The Las Vegas single A's?
Exactly. Or the Rockies.
Okay.
Who are barely a major league team right
Imagine
now.
him out there at the altitude.
Exactly. If I'm one of those teams, I'm interested in, because I just need to fill a roster spot.
I still believe, though, going back to value, and if you're odd man out, like, let me ask you this: Tyler O'Neill, and there is a difference. Obviously, he's got one more year of club control as opposed to when this trade happened. He had multiple years. But who do you believe has more value as a player? Tyler O'Neill, where he is right now, or Luke Voigt when he got traded to the Yankees?
Tyler O'Neill.
Just because of the skill set, right?
Yeah.
And Luke Voigt went off and he did very good things with the Yankees, and excited for him.
Right. But the skill set isn't the same.
I was like, yeah, he's a big guy that can hit the baseball.
Right.
Okay, we got another big guy that can hit a baseball, but can run and can, has multiple gold gloves, has different elements to his game. So, and the reason I bring up him, because you got two pitchers for Luke Voigt. You got Chase and Shreve, and obviously Giovanni Gallegos ended up being the second guy. Down year for Giovanni last year, just inconsistent year for him.
Yeah, but you won that deal.
He's been your most consistent bullpen arm for the last couple of years,
Right.
and you would expect a bounce back. You know the volatility in bullpen. So I believe that Tyler O'Neill can bring you something similar. Now, when the trade happens, are we going to look at a name and be like, oh, yeah, we got this guy for that guy? Maybe not. We didn't do that with Giovanni Gallegos either. We didn't see Gio and be like, oh, we got Giovanni Gallegos from the Yankees? How do we get him?
Right.
No, he emerged into a guy. He turned into a guy that you ended up getting. But I feel like you're going to be able to get a good skill set in return still for Tyler O'Neill.
What else did Mo say on the MLB Network? You'll find out next in the Fast Lane with Brad Thompson. I'm Anthony Stalter. Next on 101 ESPN. Congratulations to Rob from St. Louis. He won the holiday pack for Cardinals tickets. Friday games featuring the Dodgers and Brewers, Mariners, Reds, and Rockies. So congratulations, Rob. You had the correct answer to our trivia question today, which is who right now, out of Marsh, me, and Jamie, stands to have to do the Waffle House Challenge? Rob had the correct answer, which is Jamie. It's Jamie.
What a turn of events for Jamie Rivers.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, if the Falcons get more wins than the Vikings, Marsh has got to do the Waffle House Challenge. If the Vikings win more games than the Falcons, I have to do it. And if the two teams wind up with the same amount of wins, Jamie has to do the Waffle House Challenge. So as of right now, if the season ended, Vikings with 6 wins, Falcons with 6, that'd be Jamie. That has to do.
Now, will you guys during the Waffle House Challenge, whoever is doing it, like, are you guys going to go in and like support him? Like, one of you eat breakfast with him, one of you eat lunch with him? You're not going to, are you?
I think I will.
Like
actually.
when I just brought that up, you're like, man, I didn't even think of that.
I mean, somebody has to get this on video.
Yeah, I was also
it's definitely going to be me holding that phone.
You and I holding that phone.
Just
so you're holding your phone, I'm holding mine, and we're watching Jamie eat a whole bunch of waffles. I agree, Marsh.
I don't know who I want to lose this thing.
Well, it's been a wild ride because the Falcons had a comfortable 2-game lead, and then things happened. Namely, Joshua Dobbs got red hot for a second. Marsh was up 2, and now we're even again. So
I think Jamie's going to end up wearing it.
I hope so. Let's all hope for that, Brad. Let's all hope
except
for that.
Jamie. Jamie's probably not hoping to.
No, probably not.
I mean,
as much as he likes waffles, right?
But 24 of them.
You know, I hope my team doesn't have the same amount of wins as the Falcons at the end of the year.
Oh, no, you mean the first place Falcons? That team?
That means my team probably is under 500, Anthony.
No, Marsh is your wild card team. You know, Falcons first place, you wild card. You'll love it. Anyways.
Not bad football this year, huh?
No, it's bad quarterbacks. We established that earlier.
Yeah, it is bad quarterbacks. Namely on the Falcons. All right, so Mo was on MLB Network earlier today.
Yes.
And I said, hey, guess what else he said?
Yeah, what else did he say, Anthony?
This.
Okay.
Well, we really like our club, first off.
Same audio.
From an offensive standpoint, I mean, really it's going to be like in terms of just trying to find at-bats for certain players. So when you look at our infield right now, you can imagine it's going to be
Gorman or Donovan.
Goldie, and then at second base, is it going to be Gorman or Donovan?
Is it going to be Wynn at short?
Is it going to be Wynn at short, and then Arenado at third? So pretty solid there. It's just a matter of like how we distribute those at-bats. In the outfield right now, if we were to play tomorrow, it'd likely be Newt, Tommy Edman, and Walker.
What about Carlson?
And so, you know, our fourth outfielder would be Dylan Carlson.
Oh.
But obviously, we're going to go into camp. We're going to see what that looks like. Tyler O'Neill is somebody that we are listening to on trades. Getting a lot of hits on our outfielders, and, you know, we're just going to see what that does for us. But, you know, overall, we like our everyday club, so we're not really in a market to try to do much there other than see what we might be able to get for one of those players.
So a lot of hits on their outfielders, Anthony.
Yeah.
And boy, he said a lot. And honestly, I mean, that's kind of part of being a front office member. You say the same thing over and over, and you just do it in different ways.
Right.
Now, in fairness to Mo, we just play the same soundbite twice.
Yeah.
Two times.
I teased that we have more audio coming up. That was it. That was.
Yeah, we paid it off, though. We gave you a little bit more of that Mo, and that was not John Foe-Zaylock.
No, that was actually Mo.
John Mo Zaylock.
All right, so we talked a little bit about Tyler O'Neill.
Yes.
I don't think, going back to that Gorman or Donovan,
Finkel and Einhorn.
I don't think it was phrased as like Alabama or Florida State. I view it more like, you know, is it going to be Michigan or Washington at number 1?
Like both in the conversation, sharing some time.
Exactly. Yes. Now, Michigan, Washington, not the better analogy was Alabama, Florida State, because one of those is going to get left out. I don't think it's that situation.
The way that he sets this, the way that he set up the outfield from left to right with Newt Barr, Edman, Walker, I think it tells you all you need to know about Donovan's position on the team. Like, that's super utility. And we've talked about this with Gorman a bit as well. Still a young player, right? Played at 23 years old last year, but missed a lot of time with his back. I don't think that he's going to be a guy that you look at and you pencil in for 155 games. You got to get him off his feet. He's going to need days off. When he has a day off, guess who's playing second base? That's Brendan Donovan. Unless you make a different move in the outfield and Tommy is not your center fielder. So to me, Donnie has got so much value in the ability to bounce all over the field. I'm sure for him, well, he's a team player. He'll do anything you want. It's probably not ideal. Any player likes to know every day where they're going to be. Yeah. But I think that if you're Donovan, chances are you're going to be near the top of the lineup, if not on top of it. I think that he and Nootbaar are very intriguing pieces off the top for the leadoff guy. I mean, heck, I wouldn't even mind going 1-2 with them every once in a while. And then all of a sudden, you got Goldie, Arenado, you're cleaning up, Contreras. You got a pretty good lineup right there. But they both play a solid second base. Donovan, as we know, has the Gold Glove already. Gorman, if you were watching, Gorman got a whole lot better at that position and did so quickly. I don't think that you're losing a ton with him there, but I think the biggest key with him is just keeping him healthy and keeping him on the field as much as possible, and that's where a lot of Donovan's time at second base, in my opinion, comes in.
They're going to mix and match again. That's what they did last year.
Well, he can play everywhere.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of view it. The outfield spot, though, maybe you're going to have less congestion in the outfield if everybody stays healthy. It's going to be Walker, Edman, and Lars Nootbaar. I think the conversation kind of starts with the infield now, and I wouldn't mind seeing a more stagnant lineup. I've talked about this before. I think when guys show up, like you just said, when guys show up to the park ready to go, they know what position they're going to take.
What does this mean for Wilson Contreras? Is he going to be getting a ton of, a lot more reps at catcher and not at DH, which would maybe allow Gorman to be the DH and get off his feet essentially in the infield?
Yeah, I think that the situation overall, the way that, his contract tells you that he's going to have to be the catcher. I mean, at least right away. We'll see how Herrera mixes in. We'll see if there's a shift in maybe what the innings, what the games look like as the season goes. But I think it's incredibly important right now, especially with aging players on your corners. They're all aging players. We're all aging, but you've got your big boppers that are in their, early 30s, mid 30s for Goldie. You want to be able to utilize the DH spot for them. You got the back of Gorman as well, and then you have Contreras. Contreras, to me, cannot take the everyday, all the at-bats at that position, because if you do, I think that you're losing some of that flexibility that DH actually represents. So, I feel like for him, he's going to be behind the plate a lot. Will it be the lion's share? Don't know. A lot of it depends on Herrera. I think that how he evolves. I was really impressed with what we saw to him last year, both offensively and defensively. But I hope to see throughout the season both of them even get better and better at the craft. But yeah, that has to be the case, right, Anthony? Yeah. That he's getting, that he's looked at as the guy behind the plate.
Yeah. What else you gonna? You're if you put him at DH, you're sapping some of the opportunity to have Gorman and Donovan in line at the same time.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I got another one. Left to right in your outfield. Contreras, Nootbaar, Walker on a random day. Or a couple times a week. Tommy Edman now floating around.
What's the smallest outfield in baseball?
Smallest.
At least plays small?
Plays small. Most of the ones that I pitched at played
Fenway?
Pretty tiny. Fenway's right behind you.
I mean,
pretty small.
I think that's not bad.
Tiny.
You get Newton right to cover the large gap there in right center.
Just hit the ones that you need to catch, or just catch ones you need to catch.
What I'm saying, Brad, is that I don't love that outfield defense.
Oh, apparently now he's a bad athlete. There. Unbelievable.
That's Brad Thompson coming up with shaky
audio
defensive.
Coming up too.
No, we don't. We played it. We do have the Sports Six Pack coming up. 314-399-9646. You got a question for us in our Sports Six Pack? Send it to the Air Comfort Service text line. We'll do it next in the Fast Lane.
You could do it, guys. You could do it this year. You could get the holidays right with my friends over at Diamonds Direct. You've been telling yourself that you were going to pay attention this year, that you were going to get the perfect gift. Well, the perfect gift is there at Diamonds Direct. They've got all the great gift ideas. How about a stunning eternity band? Yeah, they got that. A pair of classic diamond stud earrings. She would absolutely love those. Or maybe something new, something eye-catching from a world-class designer. They are all there in the store over at Diamonds Direct. And if you are thinking about popping the question, like very, good time to do it around the holidays, Diamonds Direct is the place to be. It's like shopping 30 different jewelry stores all at once when you get inside the doors over at Diamonds Direct. Their experts can help you out, pick the perfect gift, or help you design the perfect engagement ring over at Diamonds Direct. So whether you go online, and that's diamondsdirect.com, or you get in there in person, you know that you are going to get the best service from the most knowledgeable people ever. I love Diamonds Direct. They have never taken me down the wrong path. My wife has loved everything that I've picked up over there. You need to check them out. And by the way, they're going to help make your purchase even more affordable with special financing so you can spread out all your payments over at Diamonds Direct. Get into the showroom at Olive and 270 at City Place. It's Diamonds Direct.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
5:03, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Brad Thompson. I'm Anthony Stalter, BT in for Jamie, who's going to be on the television coverage tonight of Blues and Golden Knights. Here's Andrew Marsh with your questions for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number one.
From the 573, from one Falcons fan to another.
What? There's two of us?
There's two of you.
All right.
This season has not lived up to the off-season hype. I didn't think there was any. Anyways.
Well, if you're a Falcon fan, it was about as hyped as it could be because the team actually made some moves in the offseason.
Nobody likes first place, huh? That's just a bad place to be.
Okay.
Does Arthur Smith get canned if they finish poorly the rest of the year?
I think he should. I don't love his offense. I was driving around not too long ago listening to somebody on satellite radio. I think it was on the NFL. I really like Arthur Smith's offense. Really? The running game is good. But I've talked about this before. If you really watch them, every receiver is covered. Every single one. There are times where I feel bad for Desmond Ridder, who's throwing into these windows that are, always your receivers are blanketed. That's a system thing. If you watch Travis Kelce, if Travis Kelce's wide open for the Chiefs, and it happens multiple times a game, there's absolutely no reason why Travis Kelce should be open at any point. Wide ass open. And he is, because Andy Reid schemes up those opportunities. Arthur Smith does not do that.
Andy's kind of a freak athlete, too.
He is, but wide open.
Anthony, they've said this in the past, and if they haven't, I made it up. It's not always the X's and the O's. It's the Johns and the Joes. Maybe Arthur doesn't have enough Johns and Joes, Maybe he doesn't have the dudes to have a good offense. Like, to have a team like the Falcons, okay, Anthony, maybe you have to be incredibly creative. We've talked about this before. There are only a couple of coaches, and you've had, I've had you list off, who your best innovative offensive minds are around the league. Unfortunately, there's not enough of those to go around. Every team, and chances are they're not taking the Falcons' job.
What?
Tell me I'm wrong.
Kyle Shanahan took the Falcons' job.
He left.
Yeah, he knew.
And team was talented while he was there.
Yeah.
Until the one moment that they weren't.
What the hell? Bijan Robinson, top 10 pick. Drake London, top 10 pick. Kyle Pitts, top 10 pick. What do you need?
Yes. No. More. More good players.
Suddenly I don't like this conversation. That's a first-place team.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying they don't have... It is a first-place team.
Dolphins, Ravens, Jaguars, Chiefs, Eagles, Lions, 49ers, Falcons.
No, I can see it already. I can see them during the playoffs. That's exactly, they're just showing the pennants of all these teams.
Yeah.
The drama. See highlights of Desmond Ridder. They find one.
I don't know. I don't like their strength of schedule. I don't necessarily like their quarterback.
They've had the easiest schedule.
They have nobody down the stretch.
They
haven't played anybody, period.
Their toughest game down the stretch might be the Saints, maybe. Bucks, Panthers, Colts, Bears, Saints.
The Colts.
Bucks, Panthers, Colts, Bears, Saints. That's
Colts
the rest of their
aren't
schedule.
half bad.
I think an 8th wild card team should get in over the Falcons.
Oh, stop it, Marsh.
Well, that seems to be the trend these days.
Okay. Your Florida State reference has been noted. Anyways, no, I think Artie should be canned if they don't take advantage of this absolute cakewalk of a schedule.
Question number 2.
From the 314, which one-year deal starter has the highest expectations heading into 2024? Lance Lynn or Kyle Gibson?
Highest expectations. Man, they're very... I feel like their expectations are similar and the way they do it is drastically different.
It's a good way to put it.
Because really, Kyle Gibson is more of a contact, moving it around. He's reshaped his slider over the years, but he's a ground ball guy, which should be a good defense with assuming a whole year of Mason Wynn at shortstop, whoever bouncing back at second base. You're going to be very solid defensively in the infield. It's amazing what an athletic, rangy shortstop does for everybody else.
Right.
So I think that he'll have a lot of success, and Lance Lynn is going to miss some bats. And like everybody keeps preaching the 44 home runs he led the league. Okay, fine. He also had over a strikeout an inning. He takes the ball all the time. And now he's going to be pitching in a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. I would assume those numbers are going to come back to earth quite a bit. I don't care if he gives up some long balls. Does he get some punch-outs? Does he keep the ball not in play at times? He elevates that four-seam a lot, gets a lot of swing and miss up there. It's a dangerous pitch, obviously. If you end up missing belt high with it, you could see that happen.
Middle.
44 times.
Yeah.
4 times in one inning in the postseason. Happens at times. But if I have to pick one, just end of the season, what stat line do you want to use? You just want to simply use ERA, assuming they each pitch over 150 innings?
Yeah.
Let's use wins. That's the most important one.
Oh,
that's true.
Okay. Most wins.
Wins, really a team stat, but...
Kyle Gibson had 15 wins last year. Was third most, I think, in the AL.
Where did the Orioles finish?
First place.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Team stat.
Because of Kyle.
I think ERA is probably the one, or his whip.
All right, so who's got a lower ERA? Kyle or Lance Lynn?
Kyle.
On the count of 3. Perfect.
1, 2, 3.
Kyle.
Did you say glance?
Clance.
Clance.
Yeah.
Tom?
Kyle.
They're going to tie.
Lynn.
They're going to tie.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Do either one of them have a sub 4?
No.
Not with that attitude. Say that right now.
Come on, Anthony, believe a little more.
Okay, what do you guys think?
Yes, obviously. Now that I painted you in a corner, I've got to go the opposite way.
And Marsh?
No.
You? No, thank you. I think that Brad nailed it. Like, they have similar expectations. I'll throw a little wrinkle in, though.
Okay.
I do expect Lance to, how do I put this? Choke somebody out if need be.
So, for me, if he does that, whether it's the other team or yours,
yes,
that still lowers your ERA by a half point.
Okay, I'm in.
So, I do, if we're going to go knowing our math.
I like that.
And sometimes you just got to choke somebody, Anthony.
Absolutely.
Like everybody's like, keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
Some people deserve to get choked sometimes.
Sometimes. Not
Is he
all the
sorry.
time.
You know, you have to kill him.
No, you're going to apologize.
Yes.
And it could mean something. But, yeah.
The old TJ Strongbow sleeper hold.
Sure. Or the old Jonathan Papelbon.
Oh, yeah, the Bryce Harper.
Come here.
Get over here.
Bryce was full of you know what and vinegar too. Like
Sure
he
was. He was
into it before long. He was up against the dugout bench
happened?
there. What the hell happened here? Question 3, please.
Question number 3.
We're gonna have to carry this over, boys.
From the 636.
More audio.
Surprised.
Which stadium has the worst bullpen? Figured Brad has been in a couple of them.
Which what now?
Which stadium has the worst bullpen?
Oh, okay. Worst bullpen to hang out. It used to be Chicago. Now that's changed. Although Chicago was actually really... It was a bad place to like sit because you're sitting in these metal bleachers, especially at the beginning of the year or end of the year, like it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
You're watching the game from down the line, so you're just like looking over your shoulder the entire time. And then you have fans right on your neck, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they would sometimes like would try the ketchup and mustard packets and just slam those things. The ushers try to stop them sometimes. So that wasn't like the best, but it was actually really good people watching, and oftentimes the fans are fun, you know, so that was all right. Cincinnati's not a great perspective out there in right field. I mean, you're right. I mean, you're there. You're behind the chain link. That's not great. Dodgers, you'd get a little bit. They'd give it to you out in that bullpen. So I think a lot of people think Dodgers games like, you got the millionaires and all these. Who's that? Who's that star sitting there behind the plate?
Yeah, that's behind the plate.
The stars ain't out in the bleachers.
Right.
And they will let you know. Like, man, I'm warm. I'm good.
I know you've shared this before. I'm interested because everybody always asks, like,
Philly?
who are the roughest fans?
Oh, so randomly, I think San Francisco.
That's what Dunk said.
Dude, everybody's wine drinking crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe if wine turns everybody into real jerk. Yes, I think Giants fans. They're a lot.
That's what Dunk used to say. Dunk used to say that they were always kind of the most vicious ones.
I would agree.
You wouldn't think it.
No, I'd say they're pretty vicious. I always told, like, when I had friends coming to, like, Dodger game, if you're coming to a Dodger game, depending on where you're sitting, you might just want to wear neutral gear and just call it. As stupid as it is, I think it's the dumbest thing in the world to, like, get in a fight because of a team allegiance.
I completely agree.
I mean, how stupid are we?
Yeah, right.
Like, this is what we're doing. We're going to fight somebody. You're a Cubs fan? Kick your ass. Really? That's what we're doing? I don't care how many Bud Lights or Old Style you have. That doesn't equate. But that being said, wear neutral gear if you're going to LA. Philly fans are the other one where everybody, they're a great fan base. They're passionate, and they'll give you what's for. That was the first place I ever pitched on the road, Anthony. I think I've told you this.
Nice.
And I remember stepping out from the awning. They have a 2-tier bullpen, and the visitors are up top. Now, the visitors weren't always up top. It used to be the home team because that's a better vantage point.
Yeah.
Except for the home team was getting worn out by their own fans.
Wow.
So they moved to the bottom.
Oh, man.
But I remember I stepped out, and it was just like hundreds of people screaming at me. You know, Anthony, I didn't look like I was very old. Apparently didn't look like I belonged to be there. Boy, they let me know about that. It was a couple of throws. I'm like, hey, I'm warm. You just tell them I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good to go into this game.
I'm tired of hearing this.
I would much rather be in the middle of all that than right here anymore.
They're calling you a kid.
Oh, yes.
To say the least.
Hey, kid. That's exactly what they said, Anthony.
I think the best place to watch a Cardinals-Dodgers game, especially if you're in Los Angeles, is from your hotel room. on an iPad.
Especially on historic nights.
So, yeah, people say, first of all, traffic, getting out of Dodger Stadium, I mean, Chavez Ravine takes forever, Anthony. So if you're ever in town and you have a player that's up against the historic landmark, let's call it 700 home runs, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he's too shy. Mm-hmm. And the game is on, let's call it Snapple TV.
Yeah. They don't just make great drinks anymore.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Pop a top off one of these bad boys. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you watch it in your room on your iPad because you know that nobody, no establishment going to have that game on.
Sure.
And you miss history when you could have been there.
Yeah, at least they didn't heckle you, though.
Did not get heckled.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Yelled at myself a few times.
Sure. Which is probably worse than what anybody else is going to tell you. All right, we'll finish our Sports Six back with the other 3 questions next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie and I have talked about this a lot. If you're feeling, as a man, you're feeling stressed out, you're down, let's just say you're feeling old, you're feeling unmotivated, you don't want to go to the gym anymore and all that. Well, why don't you get something done by it? Why don't you go down to Mentality, check out the program that they have. Jamie and I have gone down there and answered, and BT too, Brad Thompson, Kerry Davis. There's a slew of us that have tried Mentality, and we absolutely love the way we feel, because when you feel at your best, you're going to make sure that you perform at your best, whether you're at work or in the gym. You know that if you're constantly dealing with stress and you're constantly dealing with that lack of motivation or the energy, and you're going for, I don't know, your 3rd, 4th cup of coffee during the day, that's not the way to do it. Brad, you're not drinking coffee, you're drinking water, I know you. But Mentality has got you covered. So you go through the interview process, very easy, simple. Hey, how you feeling? To do the blood panel if you are low on testosterone, which is quite common for men. And as you get older, you're low on T, you're low on other vitamins. So put you on a program to have you feeling great in a mere couple of weeks. And then all of a sudden that motivation's there, the energy's there. And you're going to tell yourself, like, why haven't I done this before? So go down to Mentality, 2 locations, one in South County, one in Chesterfield, or check them out at lowtusa.com.
question. It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Brad Thompson, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. Time for the other questions in the Sports Six Pack.
Question number 4.
From the 636, will tonight be the Blues' toughest test yet in Vegas?
I don't know. Colorado's a pretty tough test, but
yeah, they passed that test.
They certainly
Anthony.
did. Colorado was also and has been banged up, so I guess from that standpoint, yes, Vegas winds up being their stiffest test. Jamie was talking about the defensemen, and Jamie has broken this down before, where you're looking at these guys and these are monsters at 6'2", 6'3". He was watching them just skate around earlier today, and they have a distinct advantage no matter who the opponent is. In every single matchup, you may not have the best goaltender. You may not have the best scoring line, but you have multiple oak trees that you can have on the ice at any given point that you're trying to score against in Vegas. So, yeah, I would say yes.
My thing is, the answer is likely yes, but I believe that we talked about this last week, and I talked about it with Jamie, Anthony, when you were out one day. Really irresponsible of you that
one day.
But to me, it's much less about who the Blues are playing, like what the other team does well. It's about them. Like, that's been the key of this season. It's been up and down. It's been inconsistencies, which, by the way, we all expected coming in a rebuilding year. But I don't care if you're playing the Knights, who are expected to beat you, or the Sharks, who you are expected to beat. Doesn't matter on a given night. We all know how it went against your Sharks, Anthony, as you held a viewing party for that one, and it went your way. Like, it's about the Blues. Do they play consistent, and especially in that building, can they get off to a decent start? I think that would be nice. You score the first one against the Knights, and I realize that can be said in any plays, but I feel like especially against a team like that, it'd be important to build a little momentum. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for coming to that Sharks viewing party as well, guys.
No, it was fine. I expected the Blues to win, so that's why I showed up. I wouldn't have brought a gift.
The Blues need to score first, otherwise they're going to lose.
Exactly.
I mean, that's literally with the trend.
Yes. So they have not come back in a game. Is that what we're saying? That they've won?
Jamie said they came back against the Coyotes a few weekends ago when they were.
Which Coyotes game?
That's very fair. They've played so many to start off the year. I'm kind of glad they're done playing them.
14 games against
1-10-1. 1-10-1 when allowing the first goal.
That's not great,
It's
Brad.
No.
So to your point, they should try to score first tonight.
So I don't even know why. And again, not hockey guy here, okay? But is Craig Berube even talking about that with the guys?
Really, seriously.
Just like, hey, we should score first.
Yeah.
You know?
You ever think about that, Coach, in your little scouting reports?
And your X's and Owen.
Yeah.
And you say, we got to go hard here and sorry about your luck.
Yeah. Maybe a little less time on the special teams.
Yeah.
And a little bit more time on scoring the first goal.
That would be pretty special. And again, in total fairness, I'm sure he's coached them up in every way, shape, and form.
How about this? How about first goal on the special teams?
Yeah, you could. You're right, Marsh.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah. So while we're talking about it, boys,
why are we throwing stones at birds?
Are we throwing them? Are we slingshotting them? What's going on here?
Oh, that's a good point,
we're
too.
Just saying killing.
2 birds, 1 stone. But why a stone?
It could be a marble.
That's got to be like the magic bullet.
Is this Roman times?
No, it's like the magic bullet.
Magic bullet.
Yeah, the magic bullet.
What is that? Where is that? Where does that go?
Kennedy.
I was thinking something different.
So the stone, if you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, that's a pretty magic stone.
Magic bullet. I thought it was one of those things that you chop food up with. The
little food.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, go get the magic bullet, Anthony. Yeah,
no, I'm not talking about food processing. I'm talking about the magic bullet.
Like 2 a.m, you get the magic bullet, and then you get the Showtime rotisserie.
No.
You just said it and forget it.
No, guys, listen, it is much darker than what you guys are talking about. There's a whole theory, a magic bullet theory.
Where is that theory? Is that on...
You know what?
It's one shot, It's one shot from the book depository, and it went through multiple people.
I just typed in
suppositories.
That's what I said.
On Google, if you type in magic bullet, there's two things that come up. The first one is the magic bullet blender.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about.
What's the second
one is the magic bullet theory.
Thank you.
But clearly there's one that's more important than the other.
I'm just saying, guys, 2 birds, 1 stone. That's a pretty remarkable stone or a remarkable throw.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what,
Good
though?
call.
Thanks, Dad made a fantastic point. Never thought of this. You hit one bird, then you pick up the stone and you hit the other bird with the same stone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
You better make sure these birds are not in danger.
That's more practical.
That's the thing. You better know your birds.
You know what?
Hit the wrong bird. That's jail time.
Just don't throw any stones. Okay.
But that magic bullet is a very, very good product. We got here one from the 618. It says, my fiance has a magic bullet. So,
I hear they're nice.
Chopping it up.
I hear they're nice. Smoothies and things like that.
Onions.
I think you're thinking of the magic chop.
Oh, is that what it is? I think thinking of the magic chop.
Yeah. I think the magic bullet is
the blender.
Is the blender.
And then
it turns into a cup. No, you put all
good call.
You put your smoothie ingredients, you flip it over, boom, it's a blender, and then you got.
Well, nothing's going to stop me from using it as a food processor too.
No,
I mean, I could chop up things into smaller things.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's magic.
It's magic. You know?
Now we're getting text messages that birds aren't real. We're gonna have to move on to the next.
Okay.
Question number 5.
Slap chop. That's what I was thinking of. Thanks, Dad.
Slap chop. From the 618, not a question, but you guys shouldn't feel great about being up in the overall pick'em challenge. The Riz Show didn't even know how many weeks there were in the NFL season. That makes me feel great, actually, about...
Yeah, we're not up by like a small margin.
Yeah. We did lose this weekend, bro.
Did we lose this weekend?
Yeah.
Did I even do my picks this week?
You did.
You
Marsh
did. I
forgot
missed
one
one.
pick, though.
How much did we lose
Thursday
by?
night. We lost by multiple points.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that Marsh kind of off the hook in that regard, although he did score 6. So,
Which I would be looking at tonight's game if I had made that pick for Dallas, because it would be between me and BT.
Yep, but thanks to that non-pick last Thursday, BT, Marsh is going to get the punishment this week.
Sorry, Marshy.
Either way.
I do feel good, though, about this Pick'em challenge moving forward.
We're now 8-3-2. 8-3-2.
So we just need a tie or a win, right? Just
Correct.
magic number is 1.
That's right.
Yeah, we got this.
Magic bullet number is 1.
That's correct.
8-3 is much better than 28-3.
Marsh, I feel like you shoehorn that in.
Anthony, we do get a texter real quick from 314 asking if you're going to have another party on March 30th when the Sharks are in town, asking for a friend. If that happens, the friend is them, and they would love to be invited to your Shark party.
Is that when they play the Sharks?
I guess so, yeah. I think you have to now.
Do you know when my birthday is?
March 30th? Yes.
We have to get you tickets.
Let's get a suite. Let's get a suite for Anthony's birthday.
So funny.
That's unbelievable.
Oh, Sharks jersey. Not that you don't have enough sweaters.
That's pretty funny.
Well, some things are meant to be, Anthony.
We'll get the suite. I'm sure the home of the Blues will appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Question number 6.
Show?
Did we get 6 already?
I don't know.
Well, it took 3 and 3.
Sure.
So we are at question number 6.
What do we got, Marsh?
Is this a magic bullet question?
No, I mean, do you want it to be?
I can break
excited.
it down. Yeah.
Let's talk about college football. We've talked about that quite a lot today, but from the 314, who do you guys think wins the national championship out of all 4 of these teams?
Count of 3, Anthony. All right, I don't want you to spoil this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Texas.
Bama. I wanted to go with BT, but
Bama's not getting past Michigan, first of all.
Oh, stop it. You heard those Michigan kids. They didn't want Bama at all. They're like, oh, no. I mean, yeah.
Whoever it is.
Yeah. Oh, well, take anybody.
We got screwed.
Exactly. They don't want that.
They beat Bama.
No.
Well, you want a little bet on it? I already owe you a payway.
Yeah, so just put the same payway back
Double it up. Do you want double the protein or just a whole nother meal?
No, a whole nother meal.
Okay, that sounds right. All right, whole nother meal it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Payway.
Shake on it. Air shake. COVID.
Air shake. COVID high five.
People aren't still doing that, are they?
Probably.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. If they have it, which is respectable and responsible. To, if you have it, don't be shaking hands.
Right, and that's with most of whatever it is. Don't.
That's true. Yeah. If you're just
I don't care
sick,
what it is.
If you have it, don't spread it.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless it's love.
Good point. Oh, what a riddle. Riddle.
Boy.
You know,
Nice job there,
if you
Marshy.
have it and you spread it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're basically
Better
the
be
riddler.
love.
Or
Yep.
Cardinal rumors.
Hey, we actually have
audio.
we actually do. You'll hear more from Mo next on 101 ESPN. Went down to the Missouri Athletic Club earlier today. Went down to the West Clubhouse, got my workout in, and I was chatting with a lot of the club members. Somebody earlier today that played football. I can't remember where he played, but you know what? It was nice meeting you anyways, if you're listening. I don't think it was Florida State. He would have been more upset than he was, Brad. But the Missouri Athletic Club, great spot to, it's not just a workout facility. They've got various clubs there. My family and I have taken part in, various events, whether it's Mother's Day brunch, Father's Day brunch. We have hosted shows from the downtown location when they've got various events going on. The Missouri Athletic Club is a great spot, whether you're a club member or not. Perfect for getting your family involved. If you're an individual or you got kiddos, they got something for everybody. It's the Missouri Athletic Club, Miami C.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues are back in action tonight, taking on the Vegas Golden Knights, looking to bounce back after a 4-1 loss to Arizona over the weekend. Blues and Golden Knights pregame starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We talked about the college football playoff a lot today. Michigan, number 1. Washington, number 2. Texas, number 3. And Alabama, number 4. Florida State misses out despite being undefeated on the year. If you missed any of those conversations, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We'll have a 2-hour instant replay show for you heading into Blues pregame. Once again, Blues Golden Knights pregame starting at 8. Puck drop is at 9. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Brad Thompson and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Hey, special shout out. We have a Girl Scout troop that is headed to light up Glennon, which is an event at the Cardinal Glennon Hospital that goes to support all the patients and everything that are there. It's a really cool event. Yes, it go flashlights. They're doing some caroling. So right now, my wife Kristen is taking Madeline, my daughter, as well as some of her friends, Nora, Lily, and Simone. So they're heading down there right now, and they're going to do some Christmas caroling as part of their Girl Scout event. So
ladies.
Should be a great time for everybody. And like I said before, it's a special event. You know it, Brad. So you know what it means to have a lot of those kids look out and see that and look at the flashlights. And apparently they're going to have flashlights of their own. So it's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's going to be a really special event.
No doubt.
Sing some carols. Anthony, go ahead and sing us a little ditty right now.
Sure, absolutely, Brad. But we got to hear from Mo first.
We heard from Mo twice.
Well,
same thing.
You haven't heard this, though.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see about that.
You've heard me sing. You haven't heard this audio from Mo. He was asked by Matt Viscursion earlier today on MLB Network about apparently trading for bullpen help, Brad.
The assumption is, John, as you know, I'm sure, that you guys have so many great young outfielders that there'll be a deal made at some point involving one of those outfielders. Should we be surprised if there is no deal made involving one of those outfielders?
Yeah, I do think it would be a surprise if we weren't able to do that. We still would like to try to improve our bullpen, and if we could use one of those pieces to maybe do that, that's something we'll definitely try. More importantly, we also just have to clear the slate a little bit because guys are looking for that regular playing time, those regular at-bats, and that's something we need to do.
I'm a little surprised that he noted that. Like, yeah, it'd be a surprise if we didn't get something
Really?
done.
Earlier this morning, he said, Tyler O'Neill, for sure I'm listening on.
Yeah, but that was, I felt more like he was just going to throw it out there. Like, don't forget, we've got Tyler O'Neill.
Just like as a reminder. By the way, we also have these on sale.
Right, exactly. Yeah, in case you missed that sale earlier. But to say like, yeah, it would be a surprise. So I would imagine then that something is already in the works.
Well, I'm sure things have been in the works for a long time, whether it be for O'Neill or, Dylan's name has been thrown around. Apparently, a lot of teams are calling for Lars Nootbaar as well. Seems like the team has shut that down, which I think is probably a smart thing. And we've had this happen over the last few years. We've had the abundance of outfielders, and you've tried to cull the herd a little bit. And then, unfortunately, the ones that you let go have seen some success in other places. Rosarena, obviously, Garcia. Lane Thomas is played really well.
He's been a really
with
good
the
National.
Nationals. You just forget because he's with the Nationals. But the big key is picking the right guys. I think that they've established who they want to be out there, and using the audio that we heard not once but twice. Mo had the outfield from left to right. He said if opening day were tomorrow, it would be Nootbaar, Tommy Edman, and then Jordan Walker in right field. And right now, your fourth outfielder is currently Dylan Carlson. Well, that could shift quickly if there is a move to be made to get you a bullpen piece that you believe is going to be a guy that can help you near the back end, I don't think that they would hesitate to trade Dylan Carlson. Would there be some fear that Dylan would turn into the player that you had believed he would be? Of course there would. There should be.
Yeah.
At the very least, still a young, talented, good corner outfielder. He could play center for you, switch hitter, even though the bat from the left side hasn't come around. He hasn't been fully healthy. Yeah, there's a fear there. But if you work from a position of fear, Anthony, as you know, you're not going to go anywhere.
Right.
The old scared money don't make money.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't do that. You can't be worried to make that next mistake. You have to go out there and do what you can to make this ball club better. And you can only make certain individuals in that outfield better, Anthony, by freeing up space for them to actually play and get those at bats.
Right, yeah. It's the old quarterback thing where, well, we haven't had much luck in taking a quarterback in the first round. Cool.
We're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to build other
running backs.
Yeah, we're going to be fine that way. No, you're not. You need a quarterback. So for the Cardinals, you're going to have to add. We've talked a lot about the rotation. You're going to have to build up that bullpen as well. There's no way around it. I'm not giving up Dylan Carlson though, unless it's a piece that is either a starter or, I mean, are we talking about somebody that could be an eighth inning guy for you, ninth inning guy? I'm not giving up Dylan Carlson at 24 years old for somebody that's just going to be, kind of a seventh inning guy.
Yeah,
not that's not important, but you see, I'm not. To me, he's worth more as a fourth outfielder / if somebody gets hurt and he gets a runway here, you never know, compared to just getting a bullpen piece.
Yeah, well, I guess the counterpoint to that would be like just a bullpen piece. So a seventh inning guy, like in baseball now, is incredibly important. Like if you don't have like 7, 8, 9 mapped out, you're kind of in trouble. Mm-hmm. Right now, when you look at the Cardinals bullpen, what are for sure things for you? Ryan Helsley,
yes,
for sure thing.
Gallegos.
Giovanni Gallegos, for sure thing. I would think JoJo Romero, healthy, come back, he'll be for sure in that mix.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else is for sure for you?
Nobody right now. Zach Thompson, if he doesn't earn.
I would say John King did enough.
Yeah. Whoever does not occupy that fifth spot, so like if Steven Matz gets bumped out or if Zach Thompson needs to go there, I'm fine with that. I think that you can build your bullpen that way. There's just so much volatility from year to year that I would worry about. You bring in some reliever and his arm falls off, or he had a 2-point-something ERA last year and I got an 8 this year. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, not just with the Cardinals, but in Major League Baseball, year to year with bullpens. Yeah. It's tough to project.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's why we were talking about Giovanni Gallegos a little bit earlier in the show, kind of bullish on the fact that, to use a Moism, bullish on the fact at the end of the day, we believe in the volatility, that he'll bounce back and have a good season. You just see that sometimes. You see the ups and downs. But I think that if you get a consistent member of the back end of the bullpen, doesn't have to be like a dominant 12K per 9 guy, but a consistent guy that takes the ball, I would say to me that's more valuable than a fourth outfielder if I believe that I have maybe Richie Palacios or whoever, maybe, later down the road, maybe it's Victor Scott, that could man center field for you too. Mm-hmm. I feel like that right now in the game of baseball is more important. I still believe in the upside.
I agree with, yeah.
Yeah, but I still believe in the upside of Dylan Carlson, and I believe that when you do make a trade, if you made a trade that involved him, there would be a fear factor with it. But if it makes your ball club better for the right here and right now, you just added 3 pieces to your rotation. Goldie and Arenado aren't getting any younger. So if you believe that you can make a run at the division, you believe that a trade can help you do that, you never know what's going to happen. I know Cardinal fans get tired of hearing you don't know what could happen if you just get to October, but you don't. So,
Brad, I'm tired of hearing that.
I know you are, but you don't. So just get yourself a team that can win the division, and you're going to need to shore up the bullpen to do it.
Yeah, get yourself a fall guy, Brad. Well said. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Who said that? Michael Irvin? Chris Carter. Chris Carter said that.
Was it Chris Carter?
I think it was Chris Carter.
Yeah, get you a fall guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said it to a bunch of NFL draftees.
Dude, that's why they bring these guys in.
Right.
Sage advice.
Yes.
That's where you hear stuff like, get you a fall guy.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Our fall guy is Andrew Marsh. Wait, I don't think, no. You're important. That's what I mean. I meant to say he's important.
He would take a fall for any of us.
Exactly, and that's why he's loyal and he's here.
Like a Labrador retriever.
No doubt. He's got criticisms and compliments next on 101 ESPN.
Good boy.
Hey, now's the perfect time to head down to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum and check out all that they have to offer. In fact, they have over 700 vehicles on their lot. One location out in Herculaneum. You don't have to drive around the greater St. Louis or Illinois area to find your next new ride. No, it's at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. And right now, they've got unbelievable financing options available, and it couldn't come at a better time with rates where they are. The financing team at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, they're the best, man. We've enjoyed working with them, and I've seen them firsthand. We can, see what they do when it comes to saving you money over the course of, your loan for the vehicle. No money down, no payments for 90 days, 0% APR for up to 5 years. Those are all options right now at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Plus, you can enter to win a brand new Polaris ATV and grab a hot dog just for stopping by. No purchase necessary on the hot dog. 30-day return promise as well at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, and they give you the complimentary lifetime warranty as well. So whether you're looking at new Nissans, pre-owned vehicles of any make or model, sports cars, SUVs, trucks, vans, they've got them all at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you. Join in the holiday spirit by helping 101 ESPN support Operation Food Surge throughout the month of December. We've partnered with STL Shirt Company to offer a special 101 ESPN online merch store this month. We're offering 101 ESPN t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Plus, we brought back some of your favorite designs, including the Dunk t-shirts.
Yeah, it's got to get some of those.
Be Patient shirts.
Are those sold out yet?
I don't know. Be patient. We'll get more in. And Jamie Rivers and Brad Thompson jerseys. Those I know are sold out, no doubt. Order any 101 ESPN swag during the month of December, and proceeds from all the sales will go to support Operation Food Surge. Visit the 101 ESPN online merch store now at 101ESPN.com, powered by McBride Homes.
Do we also have Anthony Stalter batting gloves and eye black? Do we have that?
I don't think so.
The softball swag kit.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen those released yet. Or these
Maybe it's a slow release that we're doing.
Yeah.
It's like
Central Michigan, I'm a second baseman.
Yes. No, you're not.
Jersey.
Not anymore, you're not.
No. Nope. So.
It's a shortstop slash second base.
Exactly. Yeah. The podcast is available at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app. All brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Talked some Florida State, got screwed, but we're okay with it.
You
Conversation.
seem to like it. Like
I didn't like it.
You liked to watch that, didn't you?
No, I
There's
didn't
a
like
name
it.
for that, Anthony. I'm a bad person.
Hey.
That's what you are.
Like I said before.
13 in a row, Anthony.
I know they won 13 in a row.
Honestly,
you just said, hey, Mike, see that over there?
They're going to win 14 in a row.
That's the woodshed. Why don't you get back there?
We could
I didn't
blame
say that.
Anthony for Florida State not making the playoff because every pick that Anthony had this weekend was wrong.
No, it wasn't.
Wow.
I had Texas.
You're the bush?
And Michigan.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
So
sort of
did
the
the
rest
rest
of
of
the
the
world. A couple of good ones there.
Oh, so did every. It's okay.
I mean, I'm pretty
Come on.
sure most have. I mean, especially Michigan.
I think a lot of people lined up to take the points knowing that Iowa had a good defense.
Really?
I think so.
Poor Lou.
Who's Lou?
Our fade or follow contestant.
Oh, Lou.
You know who I blame for that? I blame you. You wanted to have fun, quote unquote.
He could have faded us.
Nobody's going to take that and then sit there and then wait to see if Iowa scores a touchdown with an extra point.
Sorry for trying to have fun.
Anytime they crossed midfield, it would have been awful for
fun,
Lou.
Yeah. Poor Lou.
The other picks
Lou,
we
we
had are the
apologize.
Niners.
Yeah, that's true.
That was an easy pick, by the way.
Well, I told Marshy, I said our fade or follow should be on the Niners.
Well-rested Niners team.
That's an Eagles team that just played 5 quarters.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting blamed.
Yeah. It's your fault, Marsh.
I'm the fall guy, I guess.
Not pointing fingers, Anthony.
I'm not pointing fingers.
Right.
And I don't think we should either. You're a problem, Marsh. You're a big problem on this.
Call on that.
All right.
Fall guy.
Criticisms, compliments, please.
Yeah, one compliment before we get to the specific question to end the show, but compliments to the Snake Pit who are watching us on our Air Alliance Team YouTube cameras.
Thank you, Snake Pit, for tuning in.
Yeah, shout out to them.
You.
Here's the question, though, from the 636, and this is for everyone. Is soup a meal?
I think it can be.
Does it have meat in it?
Yep, that's the thing.
Kind of a...
But even chicken noodle soup, I don't know if that's a full meal.
What do you have with it then? Like
bread.
But that's just kind of a side to your meal, right? Like that would still count as a meal. If you're not having any other plate, if it's not like, hey, what do you want? Marshy and I were having this conversation as the question came up. Usually at a restaurant, it's, hey, soup or salad with your entree.
Right.
Well, no, this is the entree at this point.
Yeah.
I think we might be having soup for dinner tonight. A little pasta fajoule.
Okay, see, I think that would be a meal. You got pasta in there. You got with like sausage, right?
Yeah, I got sausage, a little bird.
I think it depends on how big the bowl is. Like if I get some lobster
so if you got a
bisque,
trough of chicken noodle, you're good.
yeah,
like
if I
that's
got
a meal.
big bowl, man, that's a meal to me.
What if it's in a bread bowl?
Bread bowl?
Is it a meal then?
I think it is.
Can I tell you this? This is unpopular. I don't want a bread bowl. I want bread on the side. I don't want it all sopped up in there.
I agree with you.
I just want, I'd like to dip to the amount I want to dip, or not at all. I don't need the bread bowl.
Okay, all right.
Now, if you want to take the soup bowl and put it out in a hollowed loaf, all day, I'll take that, and I'll eat that huge big loaf when we're done.
Okay.
So here's the question that you posed, Anthony. We got one from the 314. Well, guys, is chili a soup? I say no.
No.
I think it is. I think it's a chili
can
family.
I get one of those chili soups, please? That'd be fantastic with my meal.
I think it's in the chili family, though.
Said, is it a soup? No.
It's not a meat.
Well, chili, if we're saying family, I think chili is like stepbrother to soup.
Hold on. Chili is not a meat. It's not a vegetable. It's not a pasta. It belongs in the soup family.
Nah, there's meat.
Depending on how you
Chili's-
make it, it's all of those things. You know, in
Exactly.
Cincinnati, they give it to you 5 ways.
Right. They give it to you 5 ways, and a lot of people don't like it.
Painful.
That 5 ways.
On the way in and out.
Yep. Have you had it? I don't think I've ever had it.
Trying to quit.
The Cincinnati chili.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put noodles in it, Anthony.
Did you?
Not great.
I actually like the noodles. It's got to be elbow, though.
That really?
Yeah.
That deep.
Still talking about the chili? For Brad Thompson, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. We'll see you tomorrow, too, if we're still back. See you.